What's up? All right, we are officially live. I'm going to sit here and wait. Hello, we already got 2 people in. What's good? Welcome to the first ever Talk Live on YouTube here. I'm going to get things rolling here in a little bit soon, kind of start talking about certain things. But first, I have to tweet it out and make sure that everybody knows what's going on right here. What's up, Thomas? I can always count on you to show some love. Your girlfriend's in the other room. She will be making an appearance on this live, but she's in the other room right now. Hold on one second. Hold on. Gotta tweet this all out. I don't want there to be that much downtime because I know how fucking boring it is when you go into somebody's live or something and there's just nothing going on and it's just like pure silence and everything. It's it kind of makes you feel like you're doing a favor or it's a chore just for sitting there and watching. So hold on one second. And like I said, kind of if you follow me on Twitter or anything like that, this is kind of an experiment. We're kind of experimenting and doing a few different things at once right now. And a few exclamation marks for some character. Get that URL down and tweet. All right, there we go. Boom. Exactly. I gotta use Kate as my clickbait as the reason why everybody should stay in here and watch this, because why else would people be watching? I know damn well they're not in this for my face right now. Also, to the 2 people watching right now, how is the audio? I got music playing in the background, my voice, the camera. How is everything playing out? Let me know in the chat. Also, if you want to ask anything or say anything, literally, the chat is open. Go crazy in there. Also, if you have any song requests or anything, I don't know if YouTube can strike me down or how good their system is at detecting copyrighted songs, copywritten. I don't know how you say that word. Anyways, I'm going to play whatever the fuck I want to play. And if YouTube's got beef with it, they're going to have to let me know, which they will. So like I said, experimenting. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Thank you. You're a 10 out of 10, Thomas. Thank you. 3 people. What's good? Hello, new viewer. Thank you. If you clicked on the link through Twitter or if you saw it in notifications, thank you for joining the first episode of Trip Talk Live. Live. Quarantine radio. I'm not a vegetarian. Fuck no, I'm not a vegetarian. I ain't got no beef with vegetarians. It's all good. I'm going to make my jokes, obviously, but I'm not vegetarian. Yeah. I thought of something funny about vegans and vegetarians the other day. I don't know if that's something I should share just quite yet on the live. But, you know, jokes pop in and out all the fucking time. But how are you guys doing? How's quarantining? How's lockdown? How is life right now with the world literally in a parallel fucking universe? This shit's crazy. Because I'm doing all right. I'm bored. I'm ready for stuff to open back up again. But we're making the most of it, like this right here, right now. But a big reason why I wanted to do this live, for those curious, is I feel like it's a lot easier for me to get points across or just to have open conversations and kind of talk to people over a live. Because if I were to make a video, it takes a long time production-wise or setting it up and editing. Editing is a bitch. And like by the time I get that video out, a lot of other news has happened or a lot of different things have happened. So this is a lot easier for me to kind of talk directly to you guys and also just have fun and chill, because what else are we doing? Pretty soon too, I will be streaming gaming. I will stream that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that here or on like Twitch or Mixer yet. Probably YouTube, because this is where my audience is and it makes the most sense. Sir, my parents are the one they taught me my potty mouth. Thank you very much. Maybe not my mother. I can't say that. My mom is a literal saint and whispers when she says shit because she feels bad when she says it. But for sure, my dad. I got that from my dad without a doubt. But also, I made a video recently. I uploaded it, I would say, back in February. And that video was the bat chair, the $400 gaming bat chair. And that video is kind of taken off a little bit recently, more so than any of my other videos. It's because I'm assuming it's just interesting and the thumbnail looks fucking funny. But it's just literally a video about a $400 Batman gaming chair. And I know I'll have a lot of new subscribers. In fact, in the past couple days, I've gotten like 10, 15 new subscribers. I said that weird, subscribers. And so this might be a cool way to come and just talk and see me unaltered, unedited, and uncrazied for a second. I do have questions that people sent in because I begged for them on the internet. I literally begged for them online. So in a little bit here, I'll start answering some really crazy questions. That's the other thing I'm gonna have to get used to with this live shit is I mumble and slur my words a lot. Like I fuck up when I'm trying to talk. I usually rely on editing to take my fuck ups out. If I really mess up and I just mess up a word or something, I edit it so I don't look so stupid. But when I'm on live like this, I'll just mess up words and I'm literally going to talk like an idiot and you guys are just going to have to put up with it, okay? You're going to have to put up with it. I think I love your mom. You need a stepdad. I actually do not need a stepdad. My mom definitely needs some fun, though. My mom needs to hit the scene. It's hard when literally the scene everywhere is shut down, but yeah. That's a different story for another day. But about 7 minutes in on this, I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be doing this for at least an hour, at least maybe a couple hours. Like I said, I'll throw gaming into the mix at some point here, but for this first kind of go around, I wanted to make this personal and just talking to the camera, answering some questions. You guys get to see me unaltered. We are gay best friends, dude. Maybe that is what my mom needs. Maybe my mom just needs a gay best friend because I don't know. Love is stupid and tricky. And so my mom would attest to that. I think she would benefit a lot from your friendship, Thomas. I think. And the ways that I think that she would too. Phone is getting some attention right now. I got to make sure and see what's happening. All right. Ooh, shoosh. All right. Well, how should we start this off? I'm gonna take one funny question that my friend sent to me, Sarah. Shout out to you, Sarah. So this was a huge discussion between me and my group of friends that we literally screamed at each other for like an hour over Snapchat group chat. So the question is, would you rather live with wet hands or wet feet? And I know what you're thinking off the bat is what the fuck? Like, first of all. Secondly, we only ask the hard questions over here. And if you had to think about it, wet hands or wet feet? I've been thinking about doing a video on this literally for like maybe not 24 hours, but at least for a day or for X amount of time, seeing who picks what and actually making them live through it for like 8 hours or something and see if their decision changes once they've actually lived through it. But so basically, my stance is wet feet. I would rather always have wet feet. And I know everyone's go-to thing is that feet stink, and that's fucking gross. But hear me out, all right? So we do everything with our hands, like literally everything. Everything you do, you need your hands for, okay? That means phones, electronics, typing, writing, working, everything. If you have wet feet, you can conceal your wet feet. You can wear socks, you can layer up, you can wear shoes, you can wear flip-flops and let them breathe. You need your hands. I don't understand the argument when people are like, no, I'm wet hands. Because I would say the majority of my friends all said wet hands. There was only a select few of us intellectuals that chose wet feet, but those who click, I think, click. So the 3 people watching right now, my 3 best friends that anyone ever did have, go in the chat. Let me know. Like, are you wet feet or wet hands? For real. Because I need to debate somebody if they choose wet hands. Because there's valid arguments for wet hands too. I get that. I totally understand. I'm just saying that Wet feet is the obvious choice, and that only smart people choose wet feet because it just makes sense. Disappear. I don't think either wet hands or wet feet. You got to choose. There is no, you can't have either. You have to choose. And then Thomas was just the insults. I know, like, if I show Kate right away, then you'll just leave. I can't do that. Thomas had wet hands. I could have called that a mile away because he just wants to fight me. But you got to choose. Disappear. You got to choose wet hands or wet feet. In this case, we'll make it for the rest of your life. If for whatever reason you were cursed, genie out of a bottle, and he made you choose wet hands or wet feet, what are you going with? Okay. If you want to, like, if we're talking real logic here, absolutely. You'd get all pruny and wet and weird, and skin would, there'd be disease, and you got some weird yeast infection type shit. It wouldn't be pretty. But let's say, just like you actually having to live with wet feet or wet hands forever is not a realistic, that's not a real ultimatum. But in this parallel universe, with everything going on right now, it actually doesn't make that much, it's not that crazy. Let's say nothing happens. There's no repercussions. You won't get sick. Your skin won't fall off. Nothing. You would live with it. Your hands would constantly be wet, and your feet would constantly be wet. And Thomas, you say you have wet hands. You got to elaborate, man. You can't just drop a bomb like that and walk away. You got to let me know why you're choosing wet hands, because I think you're crazy. But I don't know. Maybe you got some valid points, man. Also, while I'm waiting for some more people to join in, hold on. I'd have to choose feet, I guess, but how gross. I know how gross it sounds, especially when people have their like problem with feet and like how weird and gross and stinky feet can get. That's what I'm saying. You need your hands for too much. Like literally, we need our hands for everything. And especially in this day and age, when we're moving farther and farther away from mechanical shit and going full into digital and things like that, everything we touch is electronic. You'd be frying everything that you tried to operate. It would just be horrible. Thomas. I'm going to save that one for the chat. I like the emoji use, though. I just found out, like, last week, I finally figured out on memory how to type emojis on my computer because I'm off a Mac. But see, but that's an interesting point too, Disappear. He said, but what about walking or jogging when feet are wet? You got to get exercise. Hey, to be fair, if you're exercising, you're jogging or you're working out, whatever, your feet are already sweaty and gross anyways. But if you're trying to use equipment or like, I don't know, barbells or sit-ups or I don't know. The only gym I've ever been to is in Pewter City, but guess I'd use my arms. I know you have to turn into elbows. You start looking like a chicken having to do everything. If your hands were wet, then you'd end up using your feet for everything. You'd end up being like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Without a Paddle. It's that old comedy. I love that movie. But they meet these like tree forest girls, and they've lived in the jungle their whole life, and they do everything with their feet. It's hilarious. Yep, you don't want the barbells to slip out of your wet hands. Exactly, dude. Wet hands would cause so many problems. Like, how do you introduce yourself to people? How would you do things? Like, hi, my name is... Like, no. Like, that's your first introduction to people is like, hey, here's my wet, soggy-ass hand. Nice to meet you. That's at least with feet, you can hide it. You can try your best to hide it. You can swap out socks, swap out shoes. You could wear flip-flops. You could try... I don't know. There's just a lot you could do at that level to not have that issue. I think it's a lot easier. Just conceal that shit, man. Look at the chat really quick here. I'm also doing the easiest way to live stream on YouTube. Cool little info snippet for those that don't know. I'm just live streaming through the YouTube like webcam section. So I'm using the mic in my webcam, but I'm trying to get down and nail OBS, open broadcasting software, where I can actually get game stuff and I can do screen recording and have a lot of different stuff going on at the same time that I'm streaming. But for the first one, I want to just make it very easy because I'm prone to messing things up. I don't go to the gym and I don't handshake people. Well, with the current state of the world, nobody can. So nobody can go to the gym and nobody can handshake people, because right now I feel like if you tried to handshake somebody, a SWAT team would just appear or break into the roof and arrest you and would just throw you away forever. If not the actual SWAT team, the Twitter SWAT team. One of those two will actually come in and just ruin your day. But okay, I think that has been a good discussion on what feet or what hands, because that really gets me going. Your mic sounds great and would probably work well for recording guitar and singing. Well, thank you. I have spent a lot of time, many hours, trying to figure out the best way to do this. I hope it sounds good. That makes me feel a lot better. I have been experimenting with some music and kind of making beats and potentially doing some YouTube song type stuff, but that is something far in the future. And by far, I just mean it's like third on my priority list. So unless it takes first, that'll come up soon. But yeah, at some point here, I have 4 of these things and the whole mixer board off on the side. So at some point here, I will be hooking it up possibly to different instruments, to different people, and recording and auto-tuning my voice, because believe it or not, this face can't sing. So we'll figure that out. Thomas said you'd be surprised how many people try getting close and personal at work still. So Thomas in the chat, everybody, he works at a local restaurant and he kicks ass over there. But I'm not surprised, because when I used to go to that restaurant, the kind of people that walk in there that are usually hanging around, it's probably the usuals, huh? Probably the people that went there all the time that are still showing up and just totally acting like none of this is going on, getting all up in your personal bubble. Not really qualified to judge a good mic in that, but I hear you clear and loud. Awesome. Thank you. That's really all that matters. You know, that's, to me, that is how you know it's working the best, is because most people don't know what a pro mic or any of this audio technical shit means or does, but so long as it sounds great and it kind of seems like it's all effortlessly working, that's all that matters. So that's perfect for me. And auto-tune. Okay, Britney Spears. Auto-tune, in fact. To be honest, not as much as you probably think, but yeah, I would dabble in that a little bit for sure. Thomas said his regulars tip fat AF, and I love them. Everyone else's regulars can please leave. I almost said please have. I'm not surprised, though. You're a people person, Thomas. Even though you like to complain and you try to put on a brave face, you are a people person. That's why you work the way that you do. Physical distancing is hard, even outside walking down the street sometimes. Yeah, you know, it's been weird with stats and things updating as days go on and everything. It's weird. It is like a new life sometimes. Literally, I mean, if you think back to February, even the first half of March, everything was totally normal. And then it feels almost like, looking back, like overnight, we literally entered the twilight zone and we're slowly coming out of it. But I'm still going outside. I live with my girlfriend and other roommates. And so like, there's only so much you can do, trying our best to stay apart from everything. But I mean, we have certain states that have been open for a month and a half now, like Georgia, and their stats are pretty fine. And even counties out here, I think it's like 48 of the 53 counties in California are pretty much open now, except for LA. LA's been really strict, which is the county I live in. I live in LA County. But I've still been going on runs and stuff in the morning and seeing people, and I'm like from afar, but I'm just running by myself. And outside, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, even the CDC said that they just updated their website quietly the other day, that it doesn't transfer as much as they thought, not nearly as much as they thought, on surfaces and things. So my instant thought was, how fucking funny is it to all the people that spent like $4,000 on Clorox wipes trying to like scout people on the internet, and now the CDC is like, by the way, you should still do it. I'm not saying don't disinfect things. We should absolutely be disinfecting like everything, especially public shit. But it's just funny. I'm imagining someone with like a garage full of disinfectant stuff just sitting there with their sobbing in their hands. But when I start bartending you, my GF better come in. Dude, is that your goal, Thomas? Is that where you're working towards? Are you working towards bartending? That'd be awesome. Oh, you're from Canada. And I just got back from the USA as the COVID thing was just starting and we were coming back to Canada. There's quite a lot of toilet paper hoarding and all that. Got kind of weird for sure. Dude, so I took a work trip to Minneapolis right before all of this crazy shutdown happened. And it was like right on the verge. You could tell that people were getting kind of afraid and weirded out. But that's crazy from Canada. What part of Canada are you from, man? I'm not that informed on how Canada works. I know it's like broken up in different territories, or it's like you have Ontario and like other things like that. So explain to me, maybe you could teach me something here tonight because I'm not that well versed, but usually don't say on here much about myself. Oh, I feel you, dude. Yeah, totally. I got lost in the chat for a second here. The toilet paper hoarding. That's what it was, man. That was the other thing. Obviously, people have talked about this ad nauseum. Also, hello to everyone else that joined in the chat right now. Welcome to the first ever Trip Talk Live. We're just kind of BSing right now before I start answering some more questions and stuff to get more viewers and more people engaging. But the toilet paper hoarding was weird, dude. Because I watched a Joe Rogan podcast, and there's literally like 1,200 things I could tell you to wipe your ass with before. I don't get why out of everything. I mean, I was going into stores and there was still water. There was still tons of water on the shelves, but toilet paper was gone. It was just interesting to me, but it's slowly all come back. Anytime we go to the store now, there's plenty of toilet paper. So I haven't really been stressing about that. My manager said when I turn 21, I'm moving to cocktail. And if I do good, then bartending. Told him I don't want to bartend on Sundays, though. That's crazy. So moving to cocktail. Is cocktail? Is that still like waiter and waitress? It's just now you're able to serve alcohol? Because don't they have to do that? It's like you can't serve it. Other people have to come and bring it. Haley, what's up? And Kate, your girlfriend's in here. There you go. What's up, trippers? Haley, I love you. Thank you very much for the support. I am very proud of you also. I miss you and Joseph a lot. And since you're in here, actually, the chat's popping up a little bit more. I saw that I actually still got the notification. Many a question from Haley was sent. Nary a thank you from Dylan was seen. Thank you, Haley. You see it live on YouTube right now. Thank you. Let me actually go in here and let me answer your question. You said many a question, so did you send multiple? Let me go up right here. Holy shit. Haley, I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for all this content. You can serve it, you just can't pour it. That's interesting. I feel that's interesting. And you finally got cleaning spray. There you go. I don't know what Amazon's like or any of the other places, but they've been a whole shit show too. But okay, guys, we're going to take a next question. So Haley's first question was advice for kiddos coming out into the real world, fresh out of high school. That is a loaded question, and I can only offer stupid advice. I don't think you guys expected anything less from me. So let me make sure I reread the question absolutely right before I start going off on something, and you're like, that's not what I meant. Advice for these kiddos coming out into the real world fresh out of high school. Yep, I read that right. I can still read. So first of all, I can only imagine what it's like coming into this world right now. Like me and Haley went to the same high school and we've been graduated. Oh, fuck, dude. 4 years. I almost said 5 years. We're not quite there yet, but yeah, it literally 4 years, almost to the day, I think. Almost 4 years to the day. And the world we graduated into is completely different. So I feel very bad for the people that are graduating right now that haven't been able to walk the stage and celebrate with their classmates, because that's an important thing. I mean, even as much like schooling, whether it be college or high school, like there's a lot of bullshit in there. There's a lot of hard times, but overall, that's a huge part of your life that molds you into the character you're going to be forever. And so that's a very special occasion. And you want to kind of look at everybody and be like, fuck, we did it finally. So that's hard. But my best advice would be this, especially in this day and age, and I'm going to have a very polarizing opinion. Unless you know exactly what you want to do with your life, like the profession and the career you want to get into, without a doubt, if you don't question it at all, go into college and kick ass. But if you're questioning it at all, dude, don't go to college. Like, at least take a year off, at least. And I know a lot of people are against that because they're like, don't take a year off because a year turns into two and two turns into four and blah, 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 blah. I feel like if you have enough will, if you're a strong-willed person, you'll be able to go back. You'll know. And the one thing I can say is school will always be there. That's the thing. Opportunities won't. So if you have opportunities or doors that could possibly be opened or you could open for yourself, then fucking go for it. Like, go straight for that because you're so young. If you're graduating high school right now and what are you, 17, 18 years old? I mean, some people are 19. Like, dude, you could go do and travel or chase opportunities for 3-4 years. And then you're still what? 22, 23, like ridiculously young. You have so much time. And if things don't happen the way you thought, which they never do, that's a real advice I could give you too, is that going into the real world, the only constant in life is change. The only thing you can count on happening is change. So don't be headstrong on one thing. Be open, be like water, kind of be able to move and flow and kind of find your way out, find where you're flowing towards. It's going to lead you somewhere. And so unless, like I'm saying, doctor, lawyer, nursing, anything in between, if I know people that want to be like sports medicine and things like that, like if you have this idea and you've been set on it, go for it. Absolutely. I think college is a tool. And like any tool, if you're using the right one for the right reasons, you're going to succeed. It's going to be great. But like, you're not going to be able to screw something in with a hammer. So unless you figure out and know for sure, don't jump into something because then you open up the can of worms with like student debt and all these kids that are literally going to be paying off these loans for the rest of their life. And they're like, I'm still paying off a loan for a degree that I ended up switching halfway through. And like, and a lot of this, you gotta understand, comes from the pressure of the parents. A lot of this comes from parents that are like, it's tradition in the family, or you're going to be the first one in the family, which was actually my scenario. Before I keep going on this, I'm going to check back in on the chat really quick. Everyone's just going off. Everybody, oh, I love this love. He said, with me, I schooled and worked at a few things, then found what I really like and stuck with it. Absolutely. And you know what? So Thomas brings up, he's making a joke about going to college to meet his potential husband, but that is actually one of the biggest takeaways I think people could get with college. And that is networking, it's connections. And actually back in the day when I was looking at going at film school, that was the only good thing people told me about film school was nobody gives a shit in the film industry about a degree. They care about experience and they care about who you know, who can vouch for you. And so if you go to college, you can find those connections. I mean, I know as a part of you that's not really joking, but I mean, people find their wives, find their husbands, find their lovers in college, not alone. I mean, other people, your connections, the people you're going to like kind of bounce off into careers and other aspects of life with. One stone leads to this stone, which leads to this stone, which all of a sudden you're on this whole nother level. Wish I would have found out what I liked most when I was in grade school, but at least I found something I really liked before I got too old. Exactly, man. And the thing is like, there is no such thing as too old. That's why one of my favorite shows of all time, me and my girlfriend Kate just recently finished binge watching it, but it's a show called Community. The whole series is on Netflix. And it's just about all these different walks of life that are at community college. Elijah, what's up, Focus? What's good, bro? I'm so happy to see you in here. We got a nice little chat going. Haley is saying everything is based off of who you know and where you know them and how they can help you get an upper hand. I cannot stress that enough. Coming from a dad who owns his own business, from a mom who works, I can't outright say exactly. I have been waiting to kind of drop this in the channel somehow because I've talked to her about it, but my mom works for the Ace family. And so my mom has been very fortunate and is a very loving and hardworking person. And she has opened so many doors for herself. And one of those doors is where she is now. And again, Haley, it's like you're saying, it's all about who you know, literally. I mean, everything in life is who you know. If you know the right person, it doesn't matter what credentials you have. It doesn't matter what piece of paper that vouches for you, like what degree you'll get in. There are an infinite number of careers out there. It's great to imagine and go for what you really love. Yeah, exactly, man. And one of my things too is my favorite all-time comedian, Tom Segura. Guy is a fucking genius. He has a whole thing about how he loves encouraging people on chasing their dreams. And I don't want to sit here and just start preaching bullshit at you guys like, oh, the dude on YouTube is fucking telling me what to do with my life. But Tom Segura basically says that even if you don't fully reach your dream, I promise you, you will be fully satisfied in the pursuit of your dream. Because even at the end, if this big thing that you imagine does not work out, which it won't work out in the way you think it will, it never does, but you will always look back and you will be so happy in the pursuit of that dream. And that pursuit will lead to doors that were never opened in the first place and would have never been opened if you weren't pursuing the dream in the first place. This is awesome. This is awesome, you guys. I love talking about shit like this. This conversation has substance. Not to say that wet feet versus wet hands does not have substance, but this is very eye-opening. Joseph and I have a job waiting for us in Idaho, all because my dad went to high school with the dude who owns the company. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. So many people are making the jump to Idaho. Nolan and Maddie are there. Eli was just there like a couple months ago. Idaho is a really popping spot. Thomas has told me his whole life plan on how he wants to get in and finagle his way to the top. And it works, dude. It totally works. But yeah, that's basically my whole thoughts on college is it's hard again because of the world that we live in right now to try and give someone advice in this state. But also consider yourself an opportunist all the time. I'll keep that one. That one's fine. It's funny. The chat asked me if I should allow Thomas's comment or not or anything. So that's cool. I have the power. I can censor you. I can drive whatever narrative I want to drive. This is my show. Mine. I'll do whatever I want. Wet feet or wet hands reminds us that life is hard sometimes. Exactly, man. Exactly. And it also is a good analogy to make the most of it, make the best of the situation, which leeways me into my next subject, which is can always be an opportunist. If things seem down or things are weird, like the state of the world right now, dude, there's opportunities happening right now. There are things that are open to you that were not open to you a few months ago when life was normal. So look around. I mean, online right now, it's proved if you can have a stable income by working and doing things online, you've probably been unaffected by this whole thing. So I'm sure there's a lot of people looking and making career changes, changing career paths, or kind of adapting to this new normal. Also, it's a great time for investing in stocks. That's what me and my friends are talking about a lot, with stocks that were really up here that took a huge dive that are only going to go way back up. And Kevin Hart was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he had a great segment about looking at the companies and the products that we use every day. Toothpaste, shampoo, things that were essential. That's an investment. That's where the real money is. Things that people need, things that they can't live without. There's a lot of ways you could look at this. I know that it's a very hard time, but it doesn't do anybody good to always focus on the negatives. Should have invested in Zoom when I had the chance. You know, I said the same thing, Haley, until their whole Chinese data scandal came out or whatever, where it was like none of the people's info was safe and Zoom basically got corrupted. Let me read this. Just like I'll marry the next MyPillow guy. Dude, I'm still waiting on MyPillow in the mail. I'm still waiting on MyPillow. Just put 10K into Crest toothpaste stocks. I'm going to be rich, boys. 10K. He's talking about 10 crypto dollars, which translates to about 4 American dimes. That's how much you put into Crest toothpaste. I wonder what their stock is at. Tell me that, Focus. Tell me what Crest stock is at right now. But I'm going to take the next question right now. We're going to go on from the high school one. Haley, that was fantastic. I hope that I didn't offend anyone or I just made an ass of myself. But that was a very good question. I love that. So I'm going to go switch it up. Versus Enigma, which I'm assuming is another one of my friends. They sent in a question too. If you guys haven't heard of Versus Enigma or haven't checked them out, that is one of my closest friends, Hayden Ditto. That is his clothing line that he's launched. And I've made a bunch of things for and been a part of that whole process for years now. So check them out on Instagram, Versus Enigma and versusenigma.com. He's doing big things right now and really moving up. But he sent in a question. Out of all your friends, who's your favorite? with a winky face is what he said. For everybody who doesn't know my friends, they've all popped up on this channel at some point before. You can watch videos of me doing different shenanigans with them. But I love all my friends. I love all my friends the best. I'm kidding. It's Nolan. He's my favorite. I'm not gonna bullshit, but I'm joking. I don't have a favorite friend. I have so many best friends that I can't choose. I'm very fortunate to have the people I do in my life. I love all of my brothers and all of my sisters. I sometimes feel like I have too many friends, but I love them all so much. Jeez. They closed at $70.59 a share today. That's pretty fucking good for a toothpaste company, I'd say. Jeez, man. That's pretty solid. Way to go, Crest. All right, so the next question. This is a good one. Nolan said, I'll show that one again, Thomas. Nolan said, the guy I just talked about, what made you first get into YouTube and why? So if you guys will indulge me for a second and take a drink of my Arnold Palmer. My throat was getting a little bit dry. Thomas, leave that comment to yourself. Hello, other viewer. I wish it would tell me who jumped in the chat, like Twitch does or whatever, but indulge me for a second. I'm going to kind of go off, okay? So Nolan's question is, why did I get into YouTube? Why am I doing this? Why am I another schmuck in the sea of schmucks filming themselves like I'm fucking special with a camera and a microphone? So here's the thing. When I was little, and this is... all I can imagine is someone fucking watching this live. One question, why'd you do this? And then I start... Well, when I was born, when I fucking, man, okay. When I was a kid, I was an actor. I acted as a kid, and I was in a McDonald's commercial. Babe, did you know I was in a McDonald's commercial? That any of my friends? That's a long running joke. I was in a McDonald's commercial. I did some DirecTV stuff. I was extras in movie shows and dramas and shit like that. I've always kind of been exaggerative and animated when I talk, and I'm also just a talker. I just literally, anybody I meet, I could meet someone at a Chick-fil-A and I could go along, I just literally make conversation for hours with that person, because I live by the statement that every single person you meet in your life, like, you can learn something from everyone. Every person you meet has something to teach you, something for you to learn. Whether that's something that you take away, like, dude, that's great advice, I'm not going to do what you did, or wow, you've offered me a new perspective on something I hadn't had before. And so I think being exposed to like the cameras and the production side of things at a young age, and like it really fueled me into like, I like this, man. And a lot of people will choose to look at this in a very egotistical way. We're like, oh my God, this dude's fucking full of himself, and this dude thinks he's all that and a fucking bag of chips and like all this shit. But no, it's just, I think that I'm good at this. There's things that people are good at. My dad is a mechanical mastermind. My dad could take apart a car engine and put it back together in a different car's chassis like it never even happened. But my thing is talking. My thing is being me in a camera and entertaining people. I want to pursue acting again. I want to hit up my old agency, and I want to get back into auditioning. I am writing stand-up material. I'm going to do stand-up at some point. I'm going to bomb and I'll cry on stage, but I want to do stand-up at some point. I want to do acting. I want to dabble in music. I love recording myself, because we have a gift that older generations didn't have. Is we have YouTube, we have Twitch, we have these things in our pockets that record 4K at 60 frames per second. Like, if you think you have something, then go for it. Like, you have the means to show it. And so as I was going through acting, YouTube started. And I was one of those people that is like Ray William Johnson, Shane Dawson, Jenna Marbles, Niga Higa. I'll say it that way to really cover my ass. All those old school YouTubers. Oh, thank you, Disappear. Thank you. Whenever I do it, I will have it. I'm going to record everything that way for my own purposes, to learn for myself and how I'm delivering things. But also that means a lot to me. Thank you. I'm looking at all the... Oh, Tub's in here. What's up, Tub? I'm so full of myself. What is up, dude? I love myself. That is important, though. Guys, love yourselves. For God's sake, you are all beautiful souls. Just love yourselves unapologetically. That was for you, Tub. Fuck, I miss you, dude. Another one of my closest friends. But so anyways, back into it. I grew up and I was fascinated by people recording themselves, by the Equals 3 show, by people unboxing things. There were people making videos unboxing Xbox 360s and PS3, stuff that I wanted for so long. And I was just sitting there like salivating, like, oh my God, I get to watch someone open this and talk about it and start it up. And like, I got to see things and experience things without having them, and almost kind of like develop online friends, which was new at the time and everything. So I started, first time ever. This is my one funny story. I hooked up a webcam when I was I think it was, oh yeah, I was a freshman in high school. This is why it's funny. I hooked up a webcam and I used electrical tape and I taped it on a baby, whatever they eat at, dude. I don't know. I'm not a dad. Fuck, it's skipping my mind. A high chair, I guess, that you put a baby in at a table. I taped a webcam to a high chair, and I bought God of War 3 on the PS3, and it came with a limited edition God of War like red controller for the PS3. And that was the first YouTube video that I tried to actually publicly promote. I have YouTube videos from when I was like 11 years old that are still on YouTube, and one of these days I think I will repost them on my main channel. I hooked up a webcam. Exactly. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But the point of the story is I uploaded it to YouTube and I kind of tried to promote it. At that time, it was like early Instagram and shit. And I remember very straight up when I uploaded this, I went to school and I got shit on hard, like hard. I had a lot of friends and I was comfortable in my own skin and like I had fun, but people were just fucking making fun of me left and right for uploading an unboxing of a PS3 controller. And that had kind of killed the whole YouTube thing for me for a while in high school, where I had like tried to put myself out there a little bit and I just got fucking put on hard because, I mean, I guess it's a weird thing. People that I was friends with who went to the same school as me were not used to somebody filming themselves opening things and like talking about it and trying to have fun. And also at that age, kids are shitting on everyone trying to make themselves better. But it wasn't until my senior year of high school where I was like, dude, none of you matter. None of this matters. Like, I have my circle, I have my friends, I have my love and support circle. I want to do this. And so literally I got a camera for Christmas. I'd asked for one for a long, long time. My dad finally got me the cheap little handheld Canon camera. And one day I set it up in my room because I went to Walmart and bought a tripod for it. And I was like, holy shit, this is kind of like a YouTuber setup. This is kind of like how YouTubers do it. I got a camera and a tripod and I'm looking at myself in my room. And I put it up to my American flag and I literally pressed record and I started just walking in front of the camera and I like pretended to make a YouTube video. And then when I was done, I realized I made a YouTube video. Like, I realized that I had done it. I didn't just pretend to do it. I like literally did it. And I was like, dude, fuck it. I'm doing this. I was like, I got 4 months till graduation. And I'm going to upload this. And at that time, I was super into movie reviews. I was super into film. Like I said, that was kind of when I was debating on going to film school or not. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to start recording movie reviews. So my first real YouTube video, my mom is in the chat. Are you in here? Thank you, Mom. My mom is a sweetheart. She is in the chat right now. She said I'm doing so good. That's hilarious. I love you, Mom. Don't stay for too long because the chat and me will drive you out. I'm going to say some curse words. I love you. Don't stay for too long. But I ended up doing it. My first real video was a Deadpool review back in 2016. And I think that I just kind of caught the bug, man. When you do that thing that takes a little bit of a leap of faith, I guarantee you, dude, it's so worth it. If it's not something that, if it's not something that your friends are into, if it's not something that your parents are into, your siblings or anything, it just has to be you. If you're into it, do that leap of faith, whatever that is in life. And I'm telling you, by you being honest with yourself and just like, dude, this is what I like, it's going to be so happy. It gets me happy thinking about it. Honestly, it's literally was that bug. I hooked up my camera and I was like, I need to do this. I need to join this whole YouTube renegade. Like, it was awesome. It was awesome. And looking back, I have no regrets because now I'm able to look at the past 4 years of my life and see different moments on a timeline, see like a history of this. And God, dude, it's crazy, especially when I went to New York. I went to New York City with my closest friends, Hayden and Nolan, not discounting any of my other closest friends that are also in the chat. But I like made a video every day I was in New York, and we often look back and see those videos, see that whole trip there and back and what happened, and like it just makes me smile. I'm so happy that I have so many moments of my life documented that I've been able to share publicly. And also you get those comments or whatever that are like that are just that when you see these videos resonate with people, that someone's like, dude, like that looked awesome, or like that was really funny, or like just those certain things. I like that. And it sounds so damn corny. Like I'm talking Disney Channel level corny. But when I do know that somebody is like, and I have had a few comments of people like, yo, I've been having a really bad day, or I've been having a really bad week or things. And like, this was really funny. This made me laugh, this, whatever. Like that shit's really cool. And it's really uplifting. And that kind of is what drives that bug along. And I don't know, I got to keep up on this chat because there's so much going on right now. Josh is here too. What is up, Josh? Shout out, Josh. Everybody is saying hi to my mom. I think she left. I'm not sure. Let me check my phone again right now. Oh, awesome. So basically that's my YouTube story. Is I grew up like most people my age. I'm 21. I'll be 22 in a month. And I grew up in this culture, and I grew up childhood acting and being kind of surrounded by that atmosphere. And like I said, I think I'm good at it. I believe in myself, and I think that I'm good at it. And that's really what counts, is no matter what, if you believe in what you're doing, if you believe in your craft, you're not proving anything to anyone else. You're not doing it to do it for or to please anyone else. Hold on, I gotta hide this. But so, I love you, Tom. But so that goes literally with any profession. Even if like you come from, my entire family was in the Marines, and so my dad expects me to be in a Marine, but I want to go off and I want to work on planes. I want to work at Boeing, or I want to do other things like that. Like, do what makes you happy. And this is just some stupid dude on YouTube that's just spewing bullshit. No, Eli, nobody's asked that yet. And Caleb, I have not answered your question yet. I will move on from YouTube because I could make a much cooler video in the future, but I'm going to go a little bit further. Haley, I don't know if she's still in here. Haley, if you're still here, let me know. If not, it's okay. I love you. Haley sent in another question. She said, if you could write your 10-year-old self a letter, what would you write? That's a very good question. Shit, man. I don't know. 10-year-old me, what was I doing? I was still living in my little childhood town. 10-year-old me, okay. There's something that, hey, there you go. Shout out Haley. Disappear. I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to go on that in just a second here, but I'm going to finish this. There's something that an uncle of mine pulled me aside and told me a few years ago, and I'm not going to cry. If I think of Bridge to Terabithia or the portal scene in Avengers Endgame, I might cry, but I'm not going to cry. But 10-year-old me, I would probably actually give him, kind of like I am right now, maybe some life advice. And a 10-year-old me would maybe listen. I don't know. I was playing Batman Arkham Asylum back then in Modern Warfare 2, and we all know how those lobbies were. But there's an old thing, and I like to think of it, even if you're not a religious person, which that is neither here nor there. There's an old kind of paper which is known as the Serenity Prayer, and I think it's beautiful, and I think it's something that sticks with me a lot and helps drive my emotions. And basically, let me try and pull this up really quick. It is very good life advice, and so it does not matter however you think. I think this is important for everybody to hear. It goes, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that is so fucking profound and so just incredible. That's incredible advice. And like, basically all it's saying is don't trip about the shit you can't change. Don't cry over spilled milk. Don't worry about things that have happened. Worry about the things that you can change, things that are coming, things that might take the courage to change, but also remember to be smart enough to know the difference between the things that you can and can't change. Because one of the worst things I ever did was trip about shit that I can't change. So trip about the things that you can change. Trip about the things that are yet to come and that you have the power, and maybe you fucked up and you got to right some wrongs, but like trip about that. Don't trip about the stuff that has happened. So that is something I would tell my 10-year-old self, because I know if my life were to play out the same, the things that were about to happen back then, and I'd be like, listen, dude, don't trip about the stuff that did happen. Trip about what you can change and worry about yourself and being who you are unapologetically. So there's my answer on that. Shortest answer yet. Have you guys noticed that I tend to go off at all? Have you guys noticed that I kind of just sit here and talk to myself for forever? But Dylan Marcus Aurelius Jones. Only time I trip is when I'm Mac. Damn. Never trip. Trip Mac be tripping. Bro, I do be tripping sometimes. I be tripping. I think you guys could kind of get a hint at if I were to ever do merch, what the merch would be like in the future. He's talking about religion canceling. All right, hold on. I'm going to go back to Disappear's comment because I said I'm going to go back up to that. Keep in mind, I'm no expert at this, but you have a good voice. You seem confident, quick-minded, and you even have a stage. Oh, I said strange. I thought it was a stage look, I think. I think all you need is material, just my opinion. Thank you very much. That is very nice of you. And trust me, that kind of thing will stick with me. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's really cool of you to say. I did read that. Like I had a strange look, I think, for a second. And I was still going to take that shit as a compliment. Because I was going to be like, bro, you like, look at how many like people that are influencers or whatever that kind of just look different, or even people that like, I don't know, bigger people, they always have a strange look to them. And that's kind of like their selling points. And so for a second, I thought that's what you were saying, but still, thank you. That is awesome. So end up, yeah. Disappear. Thank you for stopping by. Seriously. And thank you for adding to the conversation and saying all that stuff. That was very, very welcomed and very nice of you. I hope to see you on the next installment of Trip Talk. We'll be going here for a little while longer, so feel free to hop on in if you want to. And like I said, when the stand-up thing happens, I will record it and you will see it. I promise. Peace out, man. So, yeah, that's crazy, bro. I'm so happy that we kind of got a little deep on this right now. Also, like I said, if you guys, oh, look there, right. Strange Look is the hook of a song, like LOL. Yeah, man. It might be a hook of a song that I'm familiar with, but that's probably something I need to write down, that whole Strange Look thing. That's what sold so many people, was leaning into that strangeness. Owning you. I guess that's what I would say, is owning you. Don't go full plasticity. Let's see. All right. I'm going to finish out. Actually, I'll balance it out. I'm going to hop over to Twitter really quick because I got some questions on Twitter too. And since Tub is right here, I have to ask or answer Caleb Gregory's comment because his name's right there, so I can say it. He said, "What are your unpopular predictions about where technology/society will be 10 years from now?" Jesus Christ, man. Holy fuck. If you thought what I was saying before was a can of worms, that's quite the question, especially with me. So you're asking me what my unprofessional opinion, or not my unprofessional, my unpopular predictions about where tech and society will be 10 years from now. I'll go off and I'll say this. I don't think anybody will expect me to say this. I think that fuck, dude, what do I know? But like 10 years from now, I feel like life will probably be very similar to how it is now. Because if you think back in time to like the milestones of where tech jumped, the very first thing I think of, and I think the biggest thing that should come to everybody's minds, is the original iPhone. When that phone came out, people still talk about it as like it was ripped from the future. Like, basically, I keep on getting distracted because I see the chat going, but here comes hot takes, big if true. Kate's coming. Don't worry. I'm going to bring her in on a question, okay? I'm going to bring her on a question. We're only in 53 minutes. What do you think, bro? This is an all-nighter. But the original iPhone is like, back in the day, that was like the Motorola Sidekick, and like the BlackBerry was like the pinnacle of technological success in 2007 when the iPhone came out. And so when that did, people were like, is Steve Jobs a fucking time traveler? Like, where did this come from? And it really changed the game. It made other tech companies step their game up, which competition is always a good thing. Competition in companies specifically, shout out capitalism, but there hasn't been anything that I can think of that has really made a giant leap forward technologically speaking, like the iPhone did since then. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is kind of the strides in virtual and augmented reality. I think there's a huge future in there. Someone tell the Bernie bro. I welcome all the Bernie bros. Actually, I get the Bernie t-shirt and like what's that Twitch streamer's name who does that weird lip thing? I got to start doing that, man. I got to bring out my cute side on this. Maybe start honing out a little bit. I got to be my secret. But my unpopular opinions. I think Tesla and Elon Musk is only going to get bigger, and I think that's only going to piss more people off. Yeah, Nico Lul. That's what I'm talking about. Nico Lul. That's a whole different thing in its own right. But yeah, Tub, I don't know, man. Unpopular tech predictions. I think we're going to see a lot of recycled things as well. I think that we're going to start seeing a lot of companies basically taking things that have been out, things that we already know, and kind of re-engineering it, recycling it. Like this year, the iPhone 12 is supposedly supposed to be like the new iPhone. It's going to have, of course, upgraded internals, which always pisses me off when Apple is like, this is the most powerful iPhone we've ever made. It's like, well, no shit. You wouldn't come out with an iPhone that was less powerful than last year's model. That's the dumbest, nothing statement ever. Whenever people come out, they say that this is the biggest thing ever. But the iPhone this year is supposed to have the body of the iPhone 5. It's supposed to go back to that square body with kind of like the chamfered edges. And it'll have like the 3 camera system and some other things. And I know that they've been working on getting Touch ID to work through the LCD digitizer, or I guess, I don't know if it's moved to an OLED digitizer, but they're trying to get the fingerprint scanner to work through the screen, which we would have options. Would they get rid of Face ID? Possibly. Maybe that's how they get rid of the notch on the top of the phone. But, I do like the square body better. I feel like I have a better grip on it. The iPhone 5 was probably my favorite generation of iPhone. Maybe it was just the time of my life when those phones were out, but I just think those are like the cleanest looking phones. But also this form factor of this iPhone, this kind of like curved edges and all this has been the form factor since the iPhone 6. And this is the iPhone 11. So to be fair, unless you're going to make the fucking Pear phone from Victorious and iCarly, there's not a whole lot of shapes and options you got with phone dimensions. But I am intrigued by the square design. That does actually intrigue me a lot. My popular tech theory, this is one that I could do an entire video on. Something Elon Musk touched on his last podcast with Joe Rogan, which was a weird fucking podcast, by the way. Musk, dude, I don't know what dungeon they waterboarded him after he smoked some weed on Elon on the last podcast, but he was so afraid to say anything in that podcast. It was very odd to listen to. But I do think that the biggest leap forward, I think the next leap in technology is biological integration. And obviously we have countless sci-fi novels and movies and TV shows to go off of that kind of experiment on the pros and cons of that. But when Elon Musk talks about the Neuralink system and how that can do different things, I think that's the only way for tech to go next, unless you're trying to, you open the door to interstellar travel and you want to talk about like space exploration and different ways we could power engines to get us out of our own galaxy, which is a whole other freaking conversation. But the Neuralink and the whole technological integration with biological stuff, like that's, to me, that's huge. To where you're telling me like a war veteran or an amputee or someone somewhere can get literally a robotic arm and have a chip in their brain that has that arm act just as fast as any other limb, if not faster, and can probably do other things. Like, do you guys understand? We're gonna have Inspector Gadget on our hands. Like, we're gonna have this shit. We're gonna have the RoboCop. We're gonna have Terminator. Like, this shit's coming, man. Caleb says yes, he agrees. Incoming iPager. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, think about like vinyl records and all the shit that's kind of made a comeback. I honestly think it's a matter of time is back, especially because we're so overrun with technology. People are just going to want to be able to go back and communicate, I think, in a much more primitive way. But would I get the chip? Yes or no? It depends on the time. It depends on the information. Right now, I think so. I think I would. And I know I'm in the minority on that. I know that a lot of the people I know and a lot of people in the country are still very like, very privacy driven and very kind of anti-tech. And in my humble, stupid opinion, that's part of the reason why I think technology has been held back so much is I feel like there are a lot of things that are available that we are too afraid of or don't have the right restrictions on. What if I malfunction though? I'm just sitting there, my arms doing windmills or whatever. It's just like going around and choking like that. Oh my God, I'm going to be that stupid, like that Rick and Morty episode where Morty has that big ass arm and it has a brain of its own. That's like one of the funniest Rick and Morty episodes to me, dude. Oh my God, I fucking love that episode. If you haven't seen that, after this is over, guys, you got to go YouTube the Rick and Morty episode where Morty has the giant muscle arm with its own brain. It's hilarious, dude. I love that episode. But okay, I'm going to go on to the next question here. We already malfunctioning out here. That's what I'm saying, dude. At this rate, it's like, I don't know. How much worse could it actually be? And like, I don't know. I think it opens a whole nother door with like how much of it or how much of those malfunctions could, like if something happens, you could just be like, bro, it was my arm. I don't have any control over it. Like it's people who say like the Tesla thing, like, oh yeah, I rear-ended you, but it wasn't me. It was my Tesla. And like, I think as tech advances, we'll see things. I don't know. The government's already like 50 years behind on regulating this shit. Like Elon Musk says, the greatest threat to humanity is AI. So we'll see where that goes. But all right. Next question. I'm going to stick here on Twitter. Oh, okay. This one's interesting. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Okay. So also, by the way, we hit our first hour on Trip Talk Live. So let's get a round of applause in the chat. I'm joking. Who the fuck cares? But I'm having a blast with this, guys. I hope you are too. Like I said in the beginning, I know most of you weren't in here back then, but this is mainly an experiment. I'm trying to see kind of how many people are interested, how many people can kind of come in here and, I don't know, get a feel for who I am like as a person. Because as far as my YouTube channel goes, you guys have only ever seen like the edited kind of comedy version of me, or at least me trying to be funny. But YouTube does have emotes, Eli. I just don't know how to use them. I don't really know yet. Obviously, I know what they're sending is emojis, but YouTube does have emotes. I'm learning this. But yeah, I wanted to make this more personal, kind of give channel updates and talk to you guys one-on-one and talk about life. Because by the time I kind of get my whole thing set up, my whole filming production set up, and then I edit the videos, and editing is a bitch. That shit takes forever. By the time I do that, I'm usually late on news or I'm late on subjects. So by me doing this a little bit more often, I think it'll be a cool little hangout spot, especially with everybody kind of social distancing and whatnot. And I can just be more upfront and transparent with you guys, and we can have a good talk. But okay, so the next question I'm going to take is very interesting because most people do not know this about myself. But I got a question from a very old friend of mine, and her name is Callista. And Callista, if you're watching, I miss you. How are you? How's you doing? How's the fam? Wow, that's funny. That's a deep cut. Okay, so she asked the question, how do you feel about your Mormon upbringing? The memories. Glad to see you doing well. Thank you. I'm doing the best I can. I'm very happy in life right now. I hope you are too. That's what matters. So, cheers, guys. If you didn't know, so like I said, most people don't. I was raised Mormon. I was brought up very heavily Mormon. I think it's important to note, I am no longer Mormon. I no longer go to church. I no longer do anything like that. And yeah, on the first episode of me being live, I'm talking about my religion and shit. This is going to get crazy. I'm coming out of like 3 closets right now. Okay. I'm coming out of the back door behind the closet. Okay. But yes, Thomas, her. So let me reread the question again really quick, just so I know. How do you feel about your Mormon upbringing? Okay, so I have a lot of feelings, which, by the way, the reason why I'm not opposed to talking about this is a little preview. I have started very, very early workings on a video on the subject for my channel, almost like my own little bullshit mini documentary. And because I think that entire story, I think my story and other friends that I have, their stories being a part of the Mormon church is just fascinating. Fascinating. Like H3H3, cue the fuck. I need the stream deck so I can cue sounds. But I will be releasing at some point, hopefully within this year, probably my longest project to date, my longest video, and honestly, probably my first ever real passion project. And that will be on the Mormon religion and on how I was brought up and things that I did and things that happened. But so my feelings on it, I'll give you the cookie cutter version, which with me again is like 40 minutes, but I won't do that. I'm glad that I went through it. I'm glad that happened. I learned a lot of things very early on. I saw a lot of things very early on. And granted, also one thing, if I'm going to say at least one thing positive, I do equate the church with why I'm able to publicly speak so well. Because if I'd like to admit it or not, or if I didn't want to at the time, you were forced to give like speeches or testimonies in front of the entire church at a very young age. And so granted, like I've said earlier, I like this. This is kind of my space. I'm very comfortable with this. I was able to get very comfortable just like talking to people, and I'm talking large groups of people, and just be one person on stage. So that was one thing that I liked, that I got taught very early on. Other than that, I'll leave it there because like I said, I have a very long video that I want to save most of my thoughts and feelings for. So I'll leave that there. Do I like Utah? I love Utah's ski resorts. I think Utah is an awesome snow city. I like it even more now that I know Post Malone lives there, but I would never live there. If I was going to move anywhere like that direction, I'd probably end up in Colorado. But that's pretty much it. He said, hold up. Let me try. Hold on. All right. This is for everybody wondering. This is exactly how I went when I was at Church of the Kid. Imagine this, but I'm like 11. What's up, Tripper Nation? And the crowd went fucking nuts, man. They went nuts. Like, they were like, oh my God, it's him. He's gonna preach his testimony. What does God mean to you? Like that kind of stuff. It was crazy, bro. I threw on a rock concert up there, dude. Like roses were being thrown up. Like it was crazy, man. I mean, I was signing Bibles. Like it was nuts. But they all like for the algorithm. Oh, that's fucking funny, man. Again, I'm sure a lot of you are surprised that I made such deep cuts on this or whatever, but I'm having a blast, dude. I'm an open book. I will talk about anything because I don't think anything in life is awkward. I think people make things awkward. So that's kind of my stance on stuff. I'm going to go on to the next question now. Calista, shout out to you. Thank you for your question. And be sure to watch that video when that does go up here. Okay, hold up. Now I'm going to swap back over to Instagram. And we go, okay. Another question sent in by Haley. I love Haley. This is fantastic. So Haley says, what do you think is crucial for movies' success in today's audiences? Dude, I was waiting for a movie question. I love this shit. This is my bread and butter. This is going to be great. Oh my God, dude. Focus and Caleb are hilarious. I love you guys. I cannot wait till we're in the same room with each other again. Haley, you are literally like the best person ever. Thank you so much for sending all this. It's an open book, just like the book. Where am I right, Trippers? John 3:16. Oh my God, I can't read the book of Revelations because Trip Mac signed all over it. It's just all fat, like follow your dreams. And it's like, I'm trying to see, but I can't. I had to buy a new copy. Shout out to all you guys, man. These comments have been freaking fascinating. But okay, let's talk about it. I got my start on YouTube talking about movies. I've uploaded 2-hour-long videos talking about movies. Tubbs, shut the fuck up, bro. I'm gonna lose it on here if you keep saying this shit like this, man. Facts. Okay. So, what do I think is crucial for a movie to succeed with today's audiences? So first of all, let me say this. Like any point in time, things have to adapt and people have to adapt with their material and substance. That's why I like when a lot of comedians are like, how do you even make jokes anymore? Excuse me. And they're like, well, actually, now's the best time ever to make jokes. So with today's audiences, I feel like you can still make any movie you want. And as a matter of fact, I feel like you can make even more movies now, especially like, because at the same time of how crazy things are, how crazy the world is, I truthfully do feel like the majority of people who actually have their heads on straight are very more loving and accepting now than in other periods in our history. You could make a movie about anything, dude. I mean, fucking Hustlers with J-Lo showed you that you could literally make anything. Robin, what's up? Shout out Robin in the chat. But so, oh, Haley, I've been listening to Tom, Burt, Joe. I've been listening to them for years. Like, Tom Segura has been my favorite stand-up comedian for like 4 years. Like, it's fantastic. He's fantastic. Their whole crew is just like the best. But so, here's my biggest advice. And again, Steven Spielberg, I know you're watching. Michael Bay, if you are watching, please log off. But I'm trying to pull my arm up here. Let's get comfortable real quick, guys. What's up? So my whole thing is people, I think, treat audiences too stupid. And when I say people, I mean movie makers, production companies, studios. They think people are too stupid. They think that the general audiences are just stupid, like honestly. And so oh my God, I was like, the chat is blowing up because stuff is going out. But I think that especially the Marvel universe, the MCU, of course I'm referencing this, they've done the best job at showcasing this. And this is the exact reason why the DC universe has failed and why so many other cinematic universes have failed. And all these things is people forget to put the character first. People forget to put the emotional human side of a story first. And that is what people connect with. You can tell a story about the god of thunder, fucking Thor. You could tell a story about a literal god. But yet, if you humanize him and give him things that people relate with, and you give him very human situations, very human scenarios, that is what sells that story. So when you look at a lot of this DC garbage that's just kind of, or I guess the best example I could really give is like Transformers. Transformers started off great and then just got, I mean, I have so much love for the first Transformers, but every film just got worse and worse. Dark of the Moon was a little bit better, but those movies just became explosion popcorn, like just put this on, I guess, as noise type movies. But nowadays it's the story, man. It's the character. It's, do I like this person? I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but Iron Man, probably the most popular superhero in the world now, if it's not Batman or Spider-Man, the reason why Stan Lee and Jack Kirby wrote that character way back in the 60s was they wanted to challenge themselves, and they wanted to see if they could make people like an asshole. Basically, they wanted to see if they could write a character that was just not likable at all and make people like him. And that's so fascinating to me. I love that. There's a really facts, Dylan. Facts only over here, bro. You call me the fax machine. That's what I am. I really said that's what I am. I hate myself. Gotta wake up at 4 a.m. Love you, dude. Love you all. We'll be seeing you soon. Oh, Good night, Tub. I know you are on that grind, bro. You are still waking up and doing those early shifts, dude. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for your question, by the way. I love that question. And if you were here, we would still be talking about it. So for that reason, I'm glad that you're not, because I've been able to move along a little bit more efficiently. But I love you, dude. Hope you're good. Hope the fam's good. And I cannot wait to see you. But switching it back over to the movies again, I'm going to read this. This is what I liked about this. So Focus is saying this is what I disliked about Den of Thieves. If you guys haven't seen Den of Thieves, it's a really cool movie on Netflix. It's a very interesting take on cops and robbers. I liked it a lot. You should watch it. O'Shea Jackson's character ended up with a happy. Okay, okay. So I mean, I guess the spoilers in the chat now, but I don't know if that's really not a real. There's so much in the movie left. I don't really think that's a real spoiler, but I get it, man. I get it. I personally feel like they gave you enough. They gave you enough because there were a lot of characters they were balancing in that movie. A lot of characters they were balancing in that movie, man. But he, to me, was the main character. So I absolutely see your point that, like, if you're going to make him the main character, you got to give a little bit more substance to that character. But okay, backing in movie success. I think that's just my whole statement is literally just make a human story in an unhuman world, because movies are all drama. It's all drama. It's all dramatized, dramizzles. They're all dramizzles. That's what I'm gonna say because I can't say the full word. They're all dramizzles, and so they're all exaggerated. It's all not real. It's all in this. If you sit in a movie, which is my biggest pet peeve with myself, is I tend to think too much with logic, where I'm like, well, that person you wouldn't react in that way. You would obviously do this, but you got to think as a screenwriter, if you want to make an entertaining, interesting movie, you can't have your characters do just the most obvious things, because then you wouldn't have a story. Like, that's my biggest pet peeve with The Hobbit is why not just take the flying eagles all the way to where Smaug is? Why does it stop halfway and then still have years? Like, I don't understand. If the eagles just flew them all the way to the dwarves' home city, I forget what it's called, you wouldn't have a movie. So I guess, but that was one of my problems with The Hobbit. But yeah, so that's my big thing with movies is make relatable things, make things people can relate with, characters and emotions people get invested in. When you're invested in a character, there's a reason why people cried when, spoiler for Avengers Endgame, there's a reason why people cried when Iron Man died. There's a reason, because that character held weight. Like, it's there's a lot more that goes into it. I got to scroll back up here for a second because I saw that Robin was blowing up the chat. How do you feel about dressing up as Ace Ventura as an 8-year-old and your sister using it to humiliate you with your very serious girlfriend? I think that's the coolest shit ever. And if you have a problem with me being Ace Ventura, one of the coolest characters ever in movies, then sorry, fucking, it's the Pet Detective, dude. Like, get real for a second. Have a good step into the real world because you lived in Texas and met your girlfriend, then almost bailed on said girlfriend, and your sister made you continue to talk to her. Ha ha ha. Love you face, bro. Oh, I love your face. Love your face. You didn't make me keep talking. Let's get that very clear and out of the way here. That was all me. You didn't do shiz. No power. Absolutely. All me. Always, forever. Okay, now let's go back down. I want to read this. So Haley said, do you feel that I watch films from an actor's perspective, and that's why things feel predictable to you, though? No. Often what I think of is because when I'm talking about human relationships and things that we can relate to and emotional levels that we get down with, like it's get down with, that's all from a writing perspective. That's all from the storyteller's perspective. So very often, I very rarely have problems with acting in movies. There are some movies where obviously I'm like, okay, this is so bad that it's kind of taken me away from it a little bit. But I did, like I admitted though, previously, there are times where I kind of feel like I'm in my own way, where I kind of have to shut myself up and be like, dude, just watch, just let the story play out. Because very often I'll see things. And one thing that I learned that ruined a lot of movies for me. I don't want to say ruined, but ruined the suspense, ruined the buildup in movies a lot for me is, and again, take this with a grain of salt, but this is very interesting to know. Everything that you see in movies, everything that is in a scene, everything, you got to realize there is a set department, a costume department. There is like the construction team. There's the writers. There's everything that you see presented to you in that frame is there for a reason. It was placed there. Very rarely does shit, unless you're Game of Thrones and Starbucks and water bottles, just ends up on set. But like very rarely does that happen. So when you kind of start watching movies with that mindset, everything that I'm being shown, everything that I'm seeing is being shown to me for a reason. It's either foreshadowing, it's an Easter egg, it's this, like, it's, oh, okay, this is all for a reason. Like, very often in movies, they'll, like, let's say someone's driving somewhere, like they're driving down the road, right? And then all the cameras on them, or they park and they're at like a red light. And all of a sudden the guy looks over and he's like, huh, I never knew there was a high school there. And then like the passenger's like, yeah, that's actually where I graduated. And the guy's like, that's wild. And then they keep driving. That high school is going to come into play in which is very obvious to a lot of people that like when they do shit like that, it's because it's very obviously setting shit up. Like it's for a reason. So when characters kind of randomly point something out, I don't like when it's forced. That's my big thing is when it like that situation, if they're driving and they stop the car at a red light and then they're like, oh, there's a high school that you went to. That's crazy. And then they just keep going. To me, that's so shoehorned and obvious that that's for something. But then you get to movies and even TV shows where the thing that they will harken back to or the thing that's foreshadowing a major event actually kind of had its own story at the time. So you never really thought about it that way. In a weird way, if I derail my topic, it's what makes Dave Chappelle so genius and why I talk about him a lot with comedy. But a very big ploy in comedy, stand-up comedy particularly, is kind of planting a seed, talking about a certain subject, planting something, making a little joke about it, or kind of maybe it's just funny in and of itself. And then all of a sudden they go off on something and they tell us all these other jokes. And then you find out at the very end, it all connects and wraps back around to that first thing they brought up 20 minutes ago. It's genius comedy. And that's what Dave Chappelle has a whole bit on how he's so good at writing jokes. He will tell the punchline and then tell the joke, and it's still funny. He's just a genius, man. He's like the greatest that ever did it. But yeah, no, I would say that me watching from an actor's perspective, not particularly, but me watching from just someone that's done a lot of research and spent a lot of time listening to film and film production companies and people who make movies. I listen to movie podcast every day. Every day I listen to this kind of film podcast that has people that work in the industry in special effects and behind the scenes. The guy that hosts the podcast is working on a documentary. It's where I get a lot of my information from. But okay, so actually, as of now, I think I'll switch it up a little bit. I know that you're watching, so I don't have to text you. But babe, Kate, would you do me the honors of coming and joining on the live? Because I know that you're probably watching in the other room right now. Why don't you come say hi and join in with the people for a little bit? Maybe if some other people pop in and they see a cute girl, they'll stay, because Lord knows that this face isn't selling anybody. But let's get Kate in the chat. Everybody get some claps on Kate in the chat. Kate in the chat. Everybody get some claps in. Why am I clapping like that, bro? I'm so stupid sometimes. If you don't make yourself laugh, there's literally no point. Because I have a question. Haley sent another question, but I want to wait until Kate gets in here to do that. And then there's a few more as well. Hold on. I'm going to check on my own story here. And also, if you guys keep sending questions in the chat, if you think of anything on the spot. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Kate has entered the chat. Yeah, come on in. You can literally sit like right here. FaceTime her. I don't have to FaceTime her. I can see her face in real time right here. She's right here. Oh, there she is. Oh, it's already ruined. I sent like 4 questions in the chat and you ignored them all. In what chat? Oh, hold on. I got all overexposed because there was movement.
I know. I'm too tall to be sitting on this.
Well, you can still sit on that and move down a little bit.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah. No worries. Here,
I'll just crouch.
well, this is easy. Hold on. There we go.
Hello, trippers.
I'm gonna put the mic right here. I could get a second mic. I have 4 mics, like I said, but I'm not gonna spend all the time getting the mics going and everything.
Thomas.
Geez, hold on. I'm trying to get the light to focus on here. This is nuts.
I know we're so exposed.
Hold on, Kate, and entertain the people for a second.
Hello, Tripper Army. Let's see. Let's check the chats. He's blocking the chat. Never mind.
All right. Oh man, why is it? It's like so overexposed. It's being
I
so
know.
weird. Oh, Eli said that he entered. That he sent in 4 questions. Okay, he said, "What's it like dating Dylan?" I'm gonna let you answer that while I scroll up on the chat.
I don't know how to answer that. That's such a broad question. I don't want to say like anything bad. Obviously, there's nothing bad.
That's a lie.
It's not a lie. Dating Dylan's he's shown me a lot. He's taught me a lot. He challenges me a lot. I don't know. It's been great. We've had our journey to get where we are now has been very much like a roller coaster. So it's been interesting to see like how we've gotten here and stuff. That's a can of worms for another day.
Roller
but-
coaster means that there was downs. There's never any downs.
Well-
We're literally the perfect billboard couple.
Now, yes.
I don't see any questions from Eli, bro. Oh wait, I see one. One. Okay.
I was like, did you send?
I gotta go back and answer one of Eli's questions here. Really quick. Hold on. I gotta adjust this lighting.
Lighting is not it.
It has not been on our side. I guess that's better. That's fine. Let me know how it's showing up on your guys' end. It looks fine here. But so Eli said, will there ever be another major competitor besides iPhone and Android, do you think? Here's the thing. If to open that kind of worms, if you would have asked me that question 5 years ago, I would probably have said yes. I would probably have given you a very honest answer and kind of dove into that. But the thing is now, no, because the thing that Apple did so skeevingly, like so genius, is they created an entire ecosystem. Is Apple now, it's not just an iPhone. It's the Apple ecosystem. Yeah, you have the iPhone, the Apple Watch, you have your MacBook, your iPad, your AirPods, your fucking Apple Home. Like, there's just too much there. So what they did is now you have people paying for subscriptions. It's not just your phone. Now they control your computer, your headphones, your watch. Apple's been working on an Apple Car and an Apple TV, and they made their own streaming service. And like, for someone to come out of the gate and actually compete with the level that Apple is at, I just genuinely don't see it happening. Now, also, back in the 90s, people said the exact same thing about Windows. People said the exact same thing about Microsoft. So I could look back in 2027 and literally laugh and be like, dude, freaking, I don't know, the new tech company, Titty Tech, is just taking off. Titty Tech is doing absolutely tubular. So I don't know, man. I can't see that happening now, but like I said, in the 90s, nobody saw Apple dominating the planet like they do now. I mean, Apple could literally buy a continent. So it's all up for debate. But Thomas is texting you?
Yes, he's texting and chatting. We've got a real fan.
Oh my gosh, Thomas is the best. So let me see right here. Trippers, I like that. Thanks, Josh. I say it sarcastically, but for fuck's sake, it's kind of caught on. What's up, trippers? Blink if you're lying. She is, if I'm holding her hostage. The blink if you're being held hostage. If you're having to answer against your will. Yes, sis. Give me nothing. I'm living for it. Okay, hold this.
Okay.
So you have the mic.
Are you checking questions?
Yes. So Haley sent in another question,
Mhm.
and Haley's question is: let your woman do a full face of makeup on you for the views.
Wow. Right now?
No, well, I mean, that'd be funny. There's only 7 people in the chat right now.
Oh, that's true. I'm so
Eli
down
said
to do
yes.
a full makeup look. Tell me what makeup look I should do, guys. Should I do a natural? Do I do smoky eye? Do we do a bronzed look? Let me know. We will do a whole makeup look.
Eli says now, oh my god, I just realized around my ring. I didn't put my ring. I feel so naked. Like my fingers.
I know, I
naked
don't have
around my
mine on
rings
either.
on.
Anytime.
So that's Haley. That's basically where my stance is on it. Is absolutely, I would have her do a full face of makeup on me. I think that would be fucking hilarious.
As a video idea.
And so no, literally like a full face, like literally everything. Obviously, it's something that YouTube couples have done time and time again, but I would do a full beat face, like I'd end up having like the racist white girl look, where it's got the white around the lips, and it's like my face is orange, and like that's how it would look on me.
You like strip lashes and everything. Eli said, "Make him look like a cheer girl at a competition." 100%.
Well, that's what I mean by racist white girl. Like, no, I'm joking. I'm just having fun, you guys. But I would not be able to pull that off.
Aw, thank you, Haley. You're so cute.
That's so nice. No, but so what I was going to say is that's actually a video idea that we've talked about. But like I said, that would probably be an actual video. Like that would maybe on a live stream. If I got the live numbers up and there were more people kind of popping in here, I would probably do a live stream makeup thing. And also, I mean, it's not like it's a one-off. We could do it multiple times.
Yeah.
That's just my way of secretly saying I want it. But I think what would actually be funnier is me not knowing anything doing her makeup is what I think would actually be funnier. So I think possibly in the same video, maybe, or it's like a two-parter. So it's like in the first video, it's her doing my makeup. And in the second part of the video, or the second video, it's me doing her makeup. I think that would be fucking hilarious. Eli says, when is Bob Ross part 2?
Eli, where are you down?
Bob Ross part 2 is happening. Obviously, that is going to be a whole new series in and of itself, and you guys will see. Elijah's been in the thing in videos for so long, but Eli will be a part of Bob Ross at some point, of the drunk Bob Rossery. That'll happen at some point. She said, I've seen it a few times where a girl will do half of her face and give the dude all the supplies to. I just burped again. To duplicate.
That's
See,
a really good idea.
That's what I thought would kind of help me a little bit, is if she did my face first, so I kind of felt and heard what she was doing, and then I tried to replicate it. But also at the same time, I'm like, it would be so funny to not know anything.
To watch him try and figure it out.
Yeah, and be like, well, I'm gonna do this because I think it's for this, and I'm gonna put this here.
Another YouTube video idea is we do half and half.
Yeah. We got a lot that we could jump back and forth on. But no, those are great ideas. Trust me, we've bounced around a lot. I'm trying to do or pump out a few more videos that I have in the pipeline right now that's just me related, or in some other things I'm working on with other people. But then we're going to go back to kind of the couples quarantine content, which I hope you liked the Legos and ice bath one. That one was fun. Just don't ruin her stuff, please. Don't worry. I am the one who stayed up for 4 days with 9 computers and got her the fucking Shane Dawson conspiracy palette. So I know what I went through. I will not be ruining any makeup. Trust me. I know how precious that stuff is. But yeah, so I told you guys that Kate would make a guest appearance. Let's see. I have a couple more questions on here. Yeah. Then we talk about some things. I got to actually swipe down on here and go up. Okay, so someone on Instagram asked, do you like FaZe Rug? I do like FaZe Rug. I'm a fan of FaZe Rug. I met FaZe Rug last year at the Ace Family charity event at the Staples Center, the whole basketball charity event. He was on the team against Austin, I think. I forget, but I was on the court with him, and I was actually my one little hype up is I was helping him practice, and we actually ended up playing horse together, and I ended up shooting free throws back and forth with his dad. They're really good basketball players. I can't really say a whole lot because he was very focused and in the zone, but he was very nice and very supportive of stuff that I do. We've talked a little bit on Instagram before, but
follows you, right?
yeah. But Yeah, it's cool. I hope to actually do professional work with him one day, but I have nothing but nice things to say because I've met other people that have been very short or very kind of weird, and people that have been off in the YouTube circle. But FaZe Rug was not one of them. That is a very wholesome, nice guy. I really like him. I hope to speak with him more extensively in the future. Haley said, now that all my questions have been answered, I love you, dude. Keep up the great work. I have a film essay to write. XO. Wow, you have a film essay to write. That is fantastic. That is the one thing I think I would love, because when I took English 12 sci-fi in high school, I had to do film essays and I had to do like film monologues, and I loved that. I didn't even think that was work to me because I just really love dissecting that shit. So from the bottom of my heart, Haley, thank you for all the questions and for everything and all the ways you participated tonight. You are literally like a golden child. So thank you. I hope you have a great night, sweet dreams, and I hope the essay turns out fantastic. I'll see you in the next episode of Trip Talk Live. I know it's that same class you told me about. I'm telling you, you love this class. You told me the teacher, I think, right? Who the teacher that you're taking? I got to look back on our DMs, but I think that you have. I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would love to just sit there and just debate people on movies and film for however long the class is. But I know that is fantastic. But good night, Haley. Hope to see you back in the next one, and we'll have some more topics and some more little gags. And again, guys, let me reiterate, what I'm doing right now is very much an experiment. What we're doing is just seeing how many people want to chill and hang out, be a part of Trip Talk Live, talk about things going on in the world, things going on with the channel, and just questions that you guys may have. So this will hopefully be reoccurring. I'm having a blast. I just like kind of being on YouTube and talking to you guys. Like I said, I had kind of a wave of new subscribers come in after my Bat Chair video got a little bit of exposure. And so I wanted to make this, if potentially any of the new subscribers were in here, to kind of talk and hear me straight up. And it's been fantastic, dude. I'm loving that I've had my friends in here, and I've even had people that are just normal subscribers pop in here and actually participate and make good talk. We can actually, this is a lot of fun. I love just being able to connect with people like this. So Josh said he's down to watch you live. And then Haley said, Ben Sampson for 3 hours. That's crazy. Thomas, push him out of the chair. Bro, I'm sitting beneath her. She's in the throne right now. Like I'm like her jester right now. But let me check back on a few different things. So I already answered those. Oh, there we go. Okay, I have one. So from the homie, the other Dylan chillin' villain over in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, man. So that is Activace. Activace. He is a great YouTuber here, makes fantastic content. Literally, like, I'm not just saying that to be nice and hype him up. Like, this dude is like a professional video editor and makes very entertaining, informative content. So you guys should definitely look up Activace here on YouTube, because he's just going to get bigger. That guy's going to go places. But he sent in a question on Twitter, and his question is, what's the biggest project you've edited or worked on? Could be for someone else or your own. That's a very good question, and I expect nothing less from one of the best video editors that I know, fortunately. So what is it? The biggest project, right? Mm-hmm. The biggest project that I've worked on. Well, okay. It's kind of hard, because for me, it goes, are we talking about shooting process, editing process, or just everything all together? I would say shooting process. The most extensive video that I ever filmed was probably the season 1 Versus Enigma short film, where my best friend Hayden was basically like announcing the brand, announcing like the first real collection of clothing. And we traveled for that. Like we went down into LA. I think we shot, no, we didn't go to San Diego, but we drove to watch the sunset at San Francisco, which is a video on this channel if you guys want to watch that. I really love that video too. And we filmed out there. We filmed along the way. We filmed here in town. But then also I filmed from California to New York. I filmed that whole travel as well. Editing wise, I would probably say, funny enough, recently the Lego and Lego versus makeup ice bath video, dude, that one was a project. What were you gonna say?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say that one took you a really long time.
Yeah, and part of that is also because of like my mood, and sometimes I get spacey and phase in and out. But that video, the Legos versus makeup, I didn't realize how hard it was to cut between two people doing things at the same time in a race against each other, but also make it make sense and make it all line up and make it funny. Actually, because that's the goal, right? Like the goal isn't to make a completed just video. You want to make a completed video that is entertaining. And so jumping between those two things, that was hard. Because ultimately we had like 2.5 hours of footage.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had at least like an hour of footage each.
Yeah, that was crazy because we had cameras rolling at the same time both times. It gave me a whole new appreciation for people who cut together TV shows. Like, for fuck's sake, dude. Like when you're talking about so many things and so many different camera angles and people doing things at once, and you got to make an entire story make sense from like 0 to 30 minutes. Like you have a 30-minute span, actually like 24 minutes if you take commercials into account. And you got to make this whole story make sense. That is mind-boggling to me, to the people that actually edit TV shows every single week and just pump those out left and right. And not even talk about movies either, but movies I think are actually a little bit easier, if you think I'm crazy enough to say that. That's what he said. I would say recently the hardest thing I edited was the Legos versus makeup. And also it's hard because I'm finding out the more and more that I do this shit that I'm just like a perfectionist. And in the sense, but the thing is there is no such thing as a perfectionist because there is no such thing as perfection. And so like, I'll sit there and I'll rewatch scenes that I've edited over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, is this too much? Is it too little? Do I need to add? I'm like, I'll make adjustments where I'm literally editing shit frame by frame where nobody else would ever pick up on it. But to me, I'm like, I got to do this. Like this is necessary. This absolutely has to happen. And then in the grand scheme of things, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I just worry too much about shit that nobody would even care about in the first place. But Kate does exist. She does prove that perfection is real. Absolutely. I did not mean to offend you like that. I'm sorry. So let her speak. I know. Okay. It's hard. Next time that we do this, I'll have another mic just set up ready to go that she can just pull over. My mess up was not having another mic set up.
Our trial run.
Yeah, so I know you guys can still hear her. I know she's quieter, but I'll have her answer a question of mine here in a second. But Eli just said, what's your dream piece of equipment for making videos, whether it's a camera or a program, etc.? Wow, okay. So I would say my dream, like if a genie appeared and was like, dude, you could have anything, like snapping my fingers up, whatever you want. I would probably say the $60,000 Mac Pro. Like, $60,000 computer that costs as much as a fucking Tesla. Probably the Mac Pro, and then a red hydrogen camera. That is what MKBHD shoots in. That's what all the crazy tech guys shoot in. It's a camera that shoots up to 8K and it records directly onto SSD cards and swap it. It's all customizable and it's just absolutely insane. If you want to see what overkill looks like in cameras, look up red hydrogen cameras. It's absolutely insane. But the Mac Pro for sure, because I could do anything I could ever dream of on that computer. I could launch a spaceship with that computer and I would still be using Mac's operating system, which is all I really care about because I've just gotten so used to it and it's so intuitive. So another great question by Fahalkis. Thank you, Fahalkis. But here, I'm gonna pass the mic over to you. So everyone wants to ask what is it like dating me? But did you ever think you'd find yourself in this position as a girl on YouTube Live talking to random people on the internet?
No,
Mm-hmm.
never. Like, I'm trying to think what you mean from like when, from what standpoint? Like,
well,
are you talking about like 18-year-old me, or like when we first met? Do you think we would be here now sitting down on like
you
YouTube
as a person?
Live?
Like, do you think you were ever going to kind of be like an entertainer? Do you think you'd ever like be talking to people online or doing shit like this?
I don't know. I've thought about creating a YouTube channel for a few years now. I've filmed vlogs with my friend and I would go back and watch them and would just get like secondhand embarrassment of myself and would just never post them or edit them or anything like that. But I've definitely thought about doing a YouTube channel, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I was going through her camera one day and because she has a Canon 80D, a really nice camera, and she had her SD card in it, and I found like 5 clips of her like literally vlogging, like straight up vlogging like a YouTuber it was amazing. She was fantastic. Like literally, like you were so comfortable in front of the camera and you were making jokes. And there were actually a few times where I laughed. I know I'm biased because I'm dating you, but like, I think that you have unlocked talent.
Thanks,
like you,
babe.
that there's things that you need to pursue.
Thank you.
Especially with her kind of being this whole Instagram model, but by herself. When she lived in Texas, she was filming little vlogs by herself
Yes,
before she
I
ever even knew
was.
me. And
was trying.
I thought it was the cutest, funniest thing ever. And I thought she was way more natural and way more entertaining on camera than you like you would expect. And most people would be. I think that you definitely have that part of you. Even right now, I'm like, you are totally in, like you've kind of turned it
Those
on.
need to be posted. They do not need to be posted.
I would, bro. She has a
They're so
dude.
bad.
She has a whole segment on this video of her eating cereal. Was it cereal, right?
I made myself a quesadilla, had it on like this paper plate, and was eating tasting this like this protein bar, and it was so bad. And I was trying to do it on camera, and it was just awful.
It was hilarious, dude. It was so funny, and I think that sometimes it's like you just need a little nudge in that right direction to unlock that. And I think if I can give me a little credit, I think that I might have kind of nudged you a little bit more and like being confident online, like just kind of
I think so.
showing more.
I think another really good point, I'm going to bring this back up to me.
Yeah.
I think that another really good point, or why I never really started a YouTube channel, was because in Texas, it was very much so, not a lot of people had those YouTube channels. Everyone that at least like I knew, it was just kind of like stereotypical LA vlogging. Like no one really did that in Texas. So if I did it, it would very much be me standing out on my own, and I didn't have that confidence at the time. So I think that's ultimately the reason that I didn't end up starting a YouTube channel, but I'm definitely building that confidence. So
You have that,
We'll see.
sweetheart. You have
we'll
that.
see.
But I think you hit on a bigger note, and I think you were a lot of like decisions people make and a lot of people's outlook on life is totally driven by the environment they're in.
Mhm.
Is totally driven by like, who are the people around you? What are the people around you doing? And how said that Kate needs to be bullied. Don't worry, bro. We bully each other enough over here. And we also know you. So most of the bullying we just leave to you. But I think that is definitely a big thing, is who and what are you around kind of drives the person that you are, which is a lesson that parents try to teach you when you're 8 and you don't give a shit. Oh, Eli put your share face. Eli put your share face. I'm not a bully.
We love you, Eli.
We do. I do love you. Start streaming again. You.
I know.
What the fuck, dude? For everybody in the chat, for all 6 people watching, I love you guys. Eli was streaming Rocket League on Twitch, and he is like pro level Rocket League status. Like this guy has a lot of potential with it, and he's entertaining and knows a lot of facts about stuff. And so, I took your webcam. You mean the one that was collecting dust on your desk or in your drawer or whatever? Yes, that is true. I am using your webcam right now. So shout out to you for making that possible. There is a way to stream with my Lumix. I just have to get the cable for it, and I needed a battery pack, which I do now have. So I may actually be able to stream on my camera, my DSLR camera soon here, and I can give the webcam back to you. But no, seriously, I don't want to stand in the way. If you were literally trying to stream again, I would give this to you in a freaking heartbeat, dude. Like, I want you to stream so bad because you're actually good at it, and I feel like you have a future there with that. No, that's yours. Okay, man. All right. I'll let you borrow it on the weekdays. Or on the weekends. I mean, you can borrow on the weekends. We'll split it. And I'm not budging. But yeah, no, this is tight, man. Even with the music. Let me know, how is the music, by the way? Like, have you guys been able to actually hear it? Were you able to hear it?
I could hear it a little bit in the background. It's hard for me because I can hear you through the vents.
Oh, that's true. For little everybody that knows, this is my office, and our room is actually on the other side of this wall. So whatever I'm doing in here, I have an air duct, and she can just hear word for word what's happening. Eli said he had no idea there was music. All right, hold on. What about now?
He said there's no music.
I just turned it up. Hold on, guys. Let me know if you can hear this. We got Chilled Cow Radio on. He said barely now. if I can turn it up, that means I get to jam out a little bit more too. So is this too loud? How is this? What face is that, bro? That's like an anime face when someone tastes something disgusting. Like, yeah, or it's like something super sour. Well, that's good. I don't want the music to be too prevalent. Like, I don't want it to. I just kind of want it to be like kind of background. Yeah. But Eli also asked another question. Let me see right here. Would you ever do gaming on the channel? Absolutely. I've talked about doing gaming for a little while. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping the lives or keeping a lot of the live stuff on my direct YouTube channel. The problem is, I said this earlier on, but this is where the traffic is. This is where my audience is. So it would be very hard for me to switch over to Twitch or Mixer and just expect people to follow or expect people to make accounts or jump over. So for now, I'm going to be doing all my live stuff on YouTube. Eventually, when the numbers start catching up, I will probably make a second channel called Trip Talk. So Trip Mac and Trip Talk. And Trip Talk will be where the lives, the podcasts, and probably gaming would go. And then Trip Mac would be just the main channel where like a lot of the edited comedic shit goes. But you know, we cross bridges when we get there. We're going to edit out kinks and stuff. So yeah, I will do gaming. Definitely. I've actually have a few games on my Switch and on the Xbox that I have lined up. I have never played, but I bought them just because I think that they would be really good games to play on live, like good streaming games. You want to talk about streaming games is Kate over here potentially streaming Animal Crossing.
I know, we'll see. I've been lagging on playing Animal Crossing the past week. It's been hard. It's hard because they make it to where you have to pay off these loans in the game and it just takes you for fucking ever. And I've just been lagging so hard, so I might start put Pokemon Sword back in my Switch and start that back up. I'm almost finished with Pokemon Sword. I just have to beat the final gem, and I think I'm done. So maybe I'll stream the rest of that. Who knows?
I think Pokemon is far more entertaining than Animal Crossing. Oh, dude, I would watch Kate play games all day, man. That's just shit. That's entertaining in and of itself. Because the fun part about watching people play is watching people figure it out. Is like watching people like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this does. Let's do this and see what happens. And it's just so funny playing, like watching that shit play out. So, yeah, no, I think even if you stopped Sword or if you beat Sword and then you started Shield and you streamed Shield, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, the DLC pack 1 comes out almost this month. Yeah, it's like 3 weeks away. So that'd be funny. Josh said Breath of the Wild. Dude, she's watched me play Breath of the Wild. She's watched me lose my shit at Breath of the Wild. And I don't think she doesn't make any sense. You know what actually we are doing right now together, which I think we will end up streaming at some point because it's too fun not to, is we are on and so are our friends. I can't leave that out, but
I know where you're going with that.
We are on an entire Guitar Hero kick. Like every night, all we've done is just jam on Guitar Hero together for like a couple hours. And she's officially on medium now, and she's like been practicing and doing different modes, and she's been getting good. And literally, all she does is like, "Can we play Guitar Hero? Like, do you want to play Guitar Hero now? Like, I want to jam." So, so the best thing that I ever did was buy Guitar Hero, man. And so now we just chill in our room and I'm like beating Guitar Hero 3. I just got Guitar Hero World Tour in the mail today. We got Guitar Hero Metallica.
It's probably what we'll do after this.
Yeah, no, literally. We'll go kick it in bed and jam out to Guitar Hero. To have Kate play Breath of the Wild. Dude,
do you think it would be too hard for me to start with Breath of the Wild?
Yes. I do think so.
And my follow-up question is, what would you have me start at?
What do you mean?
Like, what game would you have me play instead of Breath of the Wild? Like, is there one beneath that?
Well, I think Pokemon. I think Pokemon is a huge streaming base. I mean, that's what Cody does. My good old shout out Cuba Whack. Cuba Whack. That's what Kobe does. Kobe. Oh. That's what Cody does. Cody streams Pokemon, and I'll watch his stream for hours, man. Like I think it's so fun. Also, the thing is when you are streaming a certain game, you will have people that love you as an entertainer that will watch for you, and then you will have people as a fan of the game that will watch because they like watching someone play that game that they love. So you got to pick a game that you like and a game that you're passionate about, and people will watch because either A, they want to watch you and they'll watch anything that you do, they're just fans of you, and or B, they're big fans of that game and they want to watch you play one of their favorite games, a game that they love. But Breath of the she will play. I will make her play Breath of the Wild at some point in time because Breath of the Wild remains my favorite video game of all time. I think that game is a fucking masterpiece, and I think the only other game that I would put as a masterpiece in that category would be Spider-Man on the PS4, the one that came out 2 years ago. Spider-Man PS4 is a fucking masterpiece, and also probably God of War, but again, the PS4 God of War, but that would be interesting. I think she'd have to try it on her own first, but also trying it out live is what makes it fun. So, like, why not?
I might try it. Who knows?
I don't know if she'll do YouTube or Twitch or Mixer or whatever, but I definitely see her streaming in the future. I definitely see her doing more things online. Oh God, Eli says rank all the Spider-Man actors. Go. Okay. Tom Holland number one across the board. Obviously, that's my boy. Andrew Garfield was the better Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire was the better Spider-Man. So that's really it because we've only had 3. The better question would be rank the Batmans because there's been like 90 Batmans, or rank the Jokers because that's very polarizing. But Spider-Man's easy. If I had to go, I would have to go. It's hard because I grew up with Toby. Maybe Toby first, but Tom Holland, Toby, and then Andrew. I actually am an Andrew defender. I really did like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I just think the movie he was in was bad. I do like the first one. The second one is bad, but I like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I just think that he kind of got dicked in the movies. And when you hear him talk about it, he loved that character. He loved Spider-Man. He like cries in this interview when he talks about how heartbroken he was when he found out that he wasn't getting to complete his trilogy and that people were not responding to the film as well as he had hoped because of studio interference, of course. I love Andrew Garfield just as an actor and as a person. I'm a big fan of his, and I do wish that he got his shine, but I am grateful that we got the 2 movies that we did with him. And something tells me that with the success of Into the Spider-Verse, that we may get a live action. We might see Andrew Garfield pop up again. We might see. I don't think we've seen the end of him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Oh, Liz is in here. What's up? What's good? I was like, looking at this whole thing, getting my mice back. There's been a pop in chat, dude. I love that so much. It's all about Tom. It is all about Tom. I think Tom Holland is a gem in Hollywood right now. I think he's a gem of a person. And I think he's just the perfect Spider-Man. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that the key to Spider-Man was getting someone who was actually the right age? Who would have thunk that that was all it took to fucking get the right Spider-Man? But all Toms are great. Yes, but you're not Tom. You are Thomas, and that's a very important. I will. The mic unplugged. I knew that was gonna happen. I could feel that it was loose, so I had to fix that. But yeah, no. I'll never call you Tom. Is what I'm trying to say. You are forever Thomas. But Eli was shooting back and forth. Now that school's out, I might actually stream soon. So do you want it back or not, bro? You're confusing me. What the fuck? What are you doing? Let's scroll this back down. I'm going to double check on here. So obviously, I think that we're done with the Twitter questions. I need to check my texts as well. Oh, Joel asked a question. I can't not answer Joel's question. When I work and go to school, I don't have time. Well, that doesn't answer my question. You yelled at me that it's mine to keep it, and now you're yelling at me that you're gonna stream and you don't have time. So what is the answer, dude? You gotta figure this shit out. Okay, hold on. Joel asked a question. He said, yes, I have questions I would like answered. Okay. Joel rapid fire asked me a few questions. If y'all don't know Mr. Bond, Mr. Joel Bond, you're missing out. That is a ray of fucking sunshine. Love that human. Do you favor PB or jelly? Peanut butter or jelly? Or PB and J sandwiches? What do you mean? What does that even mean? Joel literally asked, do you favor PB or jelly on PB and J sandwiches? Is it jam or jelly?
Do you like more peanut butter or do you like more jelly on your PB and J?
Oh,
is that what he's asking?
I think so. Honestly, I'd probably say jelly. I probably like a little bit more jelly. Yeah, I'm a huge peanut butter fan. I could fucking dip celery in peanut butter all day, or fucking I'm that weirdo that could eat scoops of peanut butter. I had a friend growing up. Funny story. One of my childhood best friend Joe, his little brother Caleb. I remember when we would play Call of Duty Nazi Zombies, which is shout out to the greatest game of all time. He would literally go downstairs and his snack, we would do all-nighters. He would grab a jar of peanut butter and Oreos, and he would dip the Oreos in peanut butter. It is fire. But then he would literally just eat scoops, like with a fucking ladle, would just eat scoops of peanut butter. And I remember it was like the most polarizing shit at the time. But looking back, I'm like, you know what, man? Peanut butter is kind of the shit. So I kind of feel that. But I would have to say definitely more jelly. Big spoon or little spoon kind of guy. Does this answer your question? Does this answer your question? But no. I don't know, man. I like to feel loved. I like to feel comfortable, like right now. Lately, I'd have to say Lil Spoon. I'm not afraid. My rapper name is Lil Spoon. Lil Spoon on the beat. Big Spoon or Little Spoon? I need all prevalent information about your Hogwarts house and Pottermore information. Joel wants to switch it into Harry Potter. This could go way off. Before I open this can of worms, 2 hours live right now. Officially 2 hours. That's high five. Okay, so I'm going to read this really quick. Jesus, everybody's like, I got to accept all these chat things because you guys be saying stuff that YouTube's like, I don't know. Which one do you like more of? I lean towards more peanut butter. Lord knows that boy fat. That's hot. I eat ladles and ladles of peanut butter. Yeah, like I said, the older I got, the more I realized how normal of a thing that is. I think a lot of people eat ladles and ladles and ladles of peanut butter lists. I definitely understand that more now. I hope that's what you're doing now. I hope you're just chilling, watching the live, and eating ladles and ladles of peanut butter because that sounds like a straight mood. That sounds amazing. Mariah Carey is shaking. You stole her skinny crown. Okay, so I'm gonna hit Harry Potter for a second here. Harry Potter, polarizing. Okay, quite the character, quite the story, quite the author. Mixed emotions. I will say my house, and then I'll have you say your house. Okay, so we recently binged all of the Harry Potter. We watched all of them. You hadn't seen them all, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I'll let you talk. So everybody knows I could give my opinion for an hour, but I'm gonna let her give her opinion. So I love Harry Potter. Absolutely love the story. I am Gryffindor. I'm House Gryffindor. I've always been. Every test I've always taken has always come out Gryffindor. Put in the chat right now what you think Kate is. What do you think Kate? What house?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. What house do you think Kate is? Because Eli says Hufflepuff. Thomas says he's never watched a full movie. Liz says, I'm eating a fat ass burger. That smacks. You got to tell us from where, because the where on where the fat ass burger is from could completely change how I feel about what you're doing. Oh, this is a Slytherin. Why am I not surprised? A Slytherin. You may as well be a Gemini too. I know you're a Virgo, but you may as well be a Gemini. You're not a Gryffindor, Dylan. You're 22. Well, that's gym class, man. I'm not 22. I'm 21. Hufflepuff. Noah Gregory. Noah, is this the first time you've... did you just enter the chat, or have you been in here? What's up, dude? Okay, guys, so you guys have all entered. I'm going to let her answer right now.
Okay. Only one person got it right. Noah, I am a Ravenclaw. We did our two quizzes. He's a Gryffindor. I'm a Ravenclaw. So...
Well, tell them, because she had not seen all 8 movies. So why don't you tell the people your opinion on Harry Potter?
When I was little, I had tried to attempt to read all of the books, so I don't really remember much. And I had seen like 2 movies. So going into it, I knew a little bit. I'd obviously seen a little bit of spoilers just because Harry Potter is so huge. After watching 8 movies, I thought it was amazing. It had way more of a deeper story than I ever could have imagined. And I can see why people love it and why people get so into it and get tattoos. I feel like I need to watch them again to really because every time when you watch a movie a second time, you pick up on details that you didn't notice the first time. So I'd love to watch them again so it's fresh in my brain. I loved them though. Like I can 100% see the hype around them and why everyone is so into the Harry Potter worlds. What did you think of them? Because you hadn't watched all of them either, had you? Or you hadn't watched like the last few?
No, I mean I had seen all the Harry Potters. I didn't remember everything. The one I remember the least of was 6, the Half-Blood Prince. I remember being bored in the theater when I watched that. But it ended up actually being fantastic. I love the Half-Blood Prince movie now. I think the whole, there's a lot going on in that movie that just really sets everything up. But I don't know. It's hard. So yes, there's 8 movies, Thomas, obviously, because there's 7 books, but they split the last one into 2 parts because money. What, Mr. Krabs, what inspired you to open a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original? Money. But that's what drives everything. Everything everywhere is driven by fucking money. So but I am glad, because Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 might be my favorite. That movie is so badass. I love that movie. It's like Avengers Endgame, where it was so worth the payoff. They built and built and built and built and built, and that payoff was so satisfying. But I love Harry Potter. I love that. And also name one other series that literally starts with like 11-year-old kids and finishes with adults. And like the entire cast stayed the same except for Dumbledore. It stayed the same throughout like the entire series, and it was just like the best character development, the best lore, the best world. Like Harry Potter is just fucking cool, man. Like still, our friend Danny actually gave Kate to give me an authentic Harry Potter wand that I can go to Universal Studios and walk around the wizarding world and wave it around like I'm a wizard, and I can go up to different things and I can wave it and be like Expecto Patronum, and things will light up on the walls and it'll show me where the bathroom is. It's crazy. It was the wands there are so expensive though. They charge you like $100 for a wand that makes things light up. But I am a fan. I'm not as diehard as I am about Star Wars and Marvel. Like I am. I mean, I'm not that crazy about Harry Potter like I am with those things. But it's Harry Potter, man. Like Harry Potter is. There's a reason why it's one of the biggest franchises that's ever existed. Let me go right here. Hold on. Does Gandalf die in Harry Potter? Gandalf does not die in Harry Potter. Actually. I was trying to think of a playoff of a way to play off on that. That was Eli's attempt at making a funny, everyone. Gandalf the Grey is a character written in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings novels. That is Gandalf the Grey, who eventually becomes Gandalf the White. And then you have Dumbledore. Very different. One of my favorite old school YouTube videos is Epic Rap Battles of History. I don't know if you guys still remember that shit, but there was Gandalf versus Dumbledore. Epic Rap Battles of History.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yep, that's like old school YouTube. Eli said, come on, man, I'm funny. Yeah, you're funny sometimes. I'm joking. You're probably the funniest dude I know. But dude, ERB, Epic Rap Battles of History. And they would have like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and then like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson. And like, dude, I love Epic Rap Battles of History. I'll have to show you some of those because that's definitely something I have to culturally expand your memory on. Thomas got him funny looking. But hey, everyone that is in this video or in the live right now, there's 8 viewers. Thank you all for the chat and the comments and the thumbs up and everything. This has been awesome. Better than I could have ever imagined. Let me know what videos you've liked from me the most. Like let me know what you want to see more of in the future, the videos that you've been most entertained by. Because I have a few things on the pipeline, but there's also things that I'm going to kind of just start doing on a whim. So let me know what videos you would like to see more of in the future. Eli, I know that you want Drunk Bob Ross Part 2, and that will happen. Drunk Bob Ross 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to keep doing that, inviting more people on and changing up the alcohol. I think next time, spoiler alert, I was already talking about it. I think we want to do some tequila instead of vodka, because tequila gets me feeling right. But yeah, we're gonna change it up, and we'll have some more fun. And then also, you guys will see Eli on an episode as well, and we'll change up the paintings, and we'll change up the way we do things, and then maybe make different challenges throughout the whole thing. Like if you drop, or if you spill, or if you mess up, if you fuck up, it's a shot. Like, to actually kind of like a drinking game throughout the video. It's just hard because YouTube can kind of be commie sometime, if you will. So YouTube doesn't like anything that has to do with drugs or alcohol or curse words or the real world. In fact, when COVID started breaking out, when all this started happening in the first place, YouTube was literally striking down and striking channels that were mentioning coronavirus in the video or in the title or in the description. So like if you mentioned the name coronavirus, COVID, whatever, your channel was getting a strike. Like, YouTube tries very hard because of the adpocalypse to make sure that their platform is very, very ad friendly. Is like, you got like Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, YouTube. Like, they want it to be like that. But what they don't understand is that that's not why YouTube became YouTube. YouTube became YouTube because YouTube, like, you have your kid channels, you have those things. It's like cable. Like, yeah, there's Nickelodeon, but there's also BET and MTV and VH1 and Comedy Central and Adult Swim after Cartoon Network and Nick at Night. Like, you can't censor. You got to be able to, like, there's a healthy balance. So it's hard for us to be able to do the drunk thing. We've also wanted to do things where maybe smoke a little bit or something and make a video like that too. And it's kind of hard. Again, with YouTube, we got to play nice with YouTube to make sure we get the algorithm up. Make sure you should do a video where you explain the Marvel film universe while drunk. Oh my God, Thomas, let's copy them into that. Thomas, unless, hey, go for it, you guys. You go for it. We did a Bob Ross thing, and then Cody Co did a Bob Ross thing, and Chris Clemens did a Bob Ross thing, and there's so much potential there. I love Bob Ross. But Eli's whole drunk history, you should explain the Marvel universe while drunk. That would be hilarious. That would be so funny.
Maybe like Marvel film questions.
Yeah, I think that would be funny too. I have to show you drunk history. I think you get a kick out of drunk history. But that would be funny if I gave like 20-second opinions on there's 23 Marvel movies. If I gave like 20 or 30-second opinions on every Marvel movie while drunk, trying to remember what happened. Like, the funny part is it's me, so I would still probably know too much. Like, I would still say and know and more than most people. Oh, I thought we had Chick-fil-A in here, but what is this?
Chick-fil-A in there? You mean Dr. Pepper?
Well, I thought it was like a cold Chick-fil-A drink, but it's watered down. At least it's cold, but it's watered down Dr. Pepper. But I brought the hat here in case I thought that the video is being weird. I might keep that. What you think? Hat? No hat? Like that? Let's see. Me and our friends could reenact your commentary in post. Oh, dude. That would be fucking funny. That would be hilarious. You know what was like the first little bit on that was when we did her guessing all of the Marvel superheroes. She tried to tell me what she thought the Ant-Man movie was, and then I made that little quick animation on what she thought Ant-Man was. Dude, that's probably my favorite part of that entire video is her explaining Ant-Man. Dude, that shit was so fucking funny, man. I love that so much. That would be hilarious because I know that you guys would be down to reenact whatever I say, and I would exaggerate and I would make shit up and just have fun with it too, dude. I'd have so much fun. that's definitely something that I would love to do in the future, as well as these lives, and then getting an official podcast going and things like that. But yeah, there's so much going on in the world of tech. You got Xbox Series X and PS5 coming out, movies, everything being postponed. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, speaking of it, has basically been pushed back an entire year. And then, I mean, yeah, the news is going crazy. People are rioting in the middle of a pandemic. That's a whole other subject that I could do an entire video on that just pisses me off. But yeah, hold on, I'm going to check my phone again really quick here. Hey, it's Josh. I got people in the chat dropping pictures of them. I don't know if it'll focus. It can't, but watching us on the live, it's always very cool. I'll have people send me pictures sometimes whenever I put up on a new video, and they'll send me pictures of me on their TV, which is just the strangest shit ever. And they're like, watching the new video, and I'm like, it's not like that. You should just put this on and then forget you put it on. Like, don't pay that much attention, because then you'll realize how shitty it all is. So don't pay me that much attention. Have those Nick and Tub guys on a podcast. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Naturals. You got to pay respect to the OGs, dude. Absolutely. Speaking of Marvel, Star Wars, everything like that, we are currently binge watching the MCU from start to finish. We stopped right before the Avengers because we're watching Avatar right now, which is just probably the greatest TV show that's ever existed. And we're on season 3. Yeah, we're getting really close to finishing it, and I'm really sad because I don't want to finish it, even though I will be able to watch it whenever. But bro, can we talk about Avatar for a second? Like, holy shit, man.
Please, no spoilers.
Yeah. No spoilers. Don't say anything. Just talk about how great the show is. That was a Nickelodeon cartoon in 2006. Like, beyond its fucking years, dude. Avatar is so amazing. Fave Avatar character. For me, easy. I tell her, like, every time we watch, without a doubt, my favorite character is Zuko. I think Zuko is the coolest character.
Like character development.
Oh, totally. He's got the best character arc in the entire show. His backstory, his motives, his emotional turmoil, everything. Zuko is awesome. I live for Zuko. I love that fucking character. Zuko, I love Toph as well, because I love Toph's story, and I love her journey as well as kind of becoming her own person. Katara's a badass. Sokka's just comedic relief. I got love for Sokka, but and then Aang, Momo, if Momo had a gun. Yeah, there's so many good characters. Also, Uncle Iroh, Zuko's uncle, that is just like the man of wisdom, dude. He said Azula, Katara, and Ty Lee are my unholy trinity. Azula, that's interesting. Azula's fucking crazy, dude. Azula is nuts. She's a cartoon character, and that bitch scares me. That bitch scares me. But the reason why I brought all this up is we're binge watching MCU. I showed her all of the original Star Wars. She's seen the new trilogy, and now we're watching the prequels, and she's seeing the MCU. So what is it like as my girlfriend, all of a sudden me force feeding you all of this nerd shit that I'm so passionate about? Like, what was your like perspective on all these movies before you knew me, and now that you know me? Like, what's your perspective?
I don't know if I really had a perspective on them. To me they were just kind of like movies that were there that I just never got into because I was just into rom-coms and stuff. But I've definitely been getting more into Marvel. I've seen a lot of the Marvel movies. I've just never sat down and watched them consecutively in order. Marvel's interesting. I've seen a lot of those already, but it's cool to watch them in order, like as they were released. What other movies? Avatar's cool. I had kind of watched Avatar as a kid. I've seen episodes every now and then, very, very randomly, but I've never watched it all the way through. So sitting down and watching it now and seeing how deep the storyline is, I don't know how the hell I would have ever understood that as a kid. It is such a good story. It's such a mature storyline, and it absolutely blows my mind. I would not have understood that at all. What other movies have we watched?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. That was the other one. Star Wars is good. The only reason I've never seen Star Wars before is because no one in my family is like super into Star Wars like that, or none of my friends. So I never had someone sitting there like, you have to watch all the Star Wars, or sit there and just make me watch them. So now that he's in my life, now I'm being able to watch all these movies like for the first time again. So it's really cool. It's been a cool experience.
I'm glad.
Thank
And
you.
that's one of my favorite things, is meeting someone who has yet to experience like the awesomeness that is all these worlds and stories. I love being able to show people that for the first time and kind of be there while they're watching and experiencing that shit. It's awesome.
I feel like that's me with music.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, on the other side of the rope is like, she's like the Spotify queen and the Instagram queen. And so like, look up Caitlin Wadley on Spotify if you want to follow her and check out her playlist. She got a playlist for like literally everything, but she's put me on so many music. I mean, she was the first, but she was the first person to ever make me a playlist. Like, she actually made me like a love long distance playlist. And I listen to that a lot. So Spotify and music and that kind of stuff has a special place in our hearts. Thomas said, if you could pick, what would you want to bend?
Ooh, actually, last night, a bunch of people were taking the Avatar quizzes, and I took mine, and I was a water bender. So I thought that was really interesting.
To be fair, you were every bender?
I was every bender at first. I looked up all the quizzes, and I got, what was the first one I got? I think I got water bender, and then fire, then earth, then air. And so I was like, well, I'm just the Avatar. That's the answer. And then I took another one and I got water again. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm water if that's the second time that I got that in a row. But that was really interesting.
What I was going to say is, yeah, I can actually.
I don't think you've taken it yet.
I have not taken it. I'm going.
Hold on. Let me see how many questions it is. Maybe you
can
do that real quick.
That would actually be interesting. I would love to do that. I would take that test right now. When I was a kid, I was always fascinated with earthbending because I just thought it was fucking cool. Like, I was like, just being like, the way that they earthbend in the show is like literally just hitting the ground and then having like a boulder come up and kicking the boulder and being able to like move shit. Like literally anything. I think earthbending's tight. I don't know though. Like, if I had to, because a lot of people say fire because fire is cool, but there's an episode on the show where Aang meets like the fire guru, and the fire guru basically explains that like every other element gives in life. If the music ever gets too loud, let me know. I know you guys said that you can barely hear it, but I'm still just checking. Is that water, earth, and air, they all create life. They all work together to make life. Fire is the only one that consumes. Fire is the only one that takes life. The only thing that like destroys it. And for that very purpose alone, there's not a whole lot of uses for fire other than destruction, other than evil. And so that's what kind of leans me off from fire. Air, the only cool thing for me about air is flying, is being able to fly.
I think it's hard to understand air because Aang is the only person that we really see.
But he's, yeah, I mean, but you can, there's so much you could do. I mean, you could basically have the force, but like, I would, for me, it's between earth and water. I don't know, man, because water bending would be so sick. Either earth or water. But also, it's not like you choose, because in the show, it's just like a heritage and a cultural thing. It's whatever you're born with. So I think I'd be earth or water. Whenever I take tests like that, I usually always end up being water. Literally all the time. Like, I think Dylan in Greek means child of the sea. And when I took, I was a huge Percy Jackson stan. And when I did that, I was always House Poseidon, and I was always about Poseidon. I've always been about the water. I was in swim team in high school. I've always been about that. So I'd probably end up with water. But I think just earthbending itself is cool. It's just a really cool premise. But the earthbenders in the show, kind of fucking annoying. Not the coolest. Yeah, the Earth Kingdom in general is really annoying. Earthbending is more of a top thing. Jesus Christ. Eli saying Kate's link for Spotify. All right, guys, I'm dropping it in the chat. That is the link to Kate's Spotify, and she has so many different playlists and stuff. She has 47 followers, which is crazy. I don't know anybody who has that many followers on Spotify, but I'm scrolling through her playlist right now, and she just has an absolutely absurd amount of playlists. Dill's Picks, 2020 Vision, Stoned Yet Toned, Summer Sounds, Sensual Healing, all the in between. Yeah, no, she has a fantastic Spotify playlist, so definitely check that out.
I have that quiz.
The quiz?
The airbender. Find out what kind of bender
Okay.
you are.
All right, guys, we're going to do this. I'm going to do this live right now. I'm going to take my avatar, what kind of bender are you quiz live on stream right now. And then since we're on this topic and I wanted to talk about Avatar for a little bit, and then I think after we find out what the results are on this test, then we are going to wrap it up for the night. And then we will start planning and making adjustments for the next episode of Trip Talk Live. But for now, let's see what happens while I take this test, okay? So we're gonna, what is your age? I am 18 to 24. What is your gender? Male. My strongest inclination is to be dominating, charismatic, conscientious, and steady. I'd say charismatic. I think charismatic. Usually I am amiable in, what is that? Help me.
You can look it up.
No. Hold on. Wait. Like Google it?
No, just highlight the word.
Oh, true that.
It's right there.
She's, oh my God, all this time later, and she's still teaching me how to work an iPhone. Crazy. Having or displaying a friendly and pleasant manner. Intense, cheerful, reserved. Let's say amiable. My basic motive is a desire for popularity, perfection, peace, power. Not power, not peace, not perfection. Honestly, probably popularity. I mean, just being honest with yourself, like everybody wants to be liked. You're in the pursuit of popularity. Eli, quick with the definition. My behavioral style could be characterized as spontaneous, motivated, casual, preserving. I don't think I'm casual, preserving. Spontaneous or motivated. I am spontaneous. Probably not as spontaneous as Eli would like me to be, but
I'd say motivated.
I'd say motivated too. I'm at my best when order setting, empathizing, analyzing, perceiving. Wow. I'd say all of those are definitely important, but I would say everyone is at their best, Mr. Flores, when you are empathizing. So I'm going to put empathizing. I see myself as a unifier, expander, identifier, stabilizer. I'd say unifier.
Yeah.
Like unifying people and stuff. Yeah, bringing people together. I'd like the role of a peacemaker, a promoter, a leader, a reformer. Just being honest, I always end up taking the role of a leader. Even if it's not something that I've asked for, it just naturally is what happens. And it's probably why I end up in bad situations all the time. An objective observer would see me as sensation seeking, security seeking, identity seeking, knowledge seeking. I like to be knowledge and sensation seeking. I'm definitely not identity or security seeking. I guess sensation seeking.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
But I seek knowledge in everything. I seek knowledge. Like I said, you can learn something from everyone, and that is important. Sometimes I can be too insensitive, too sensitive, too excitable, too serious, too sensitive, for sure. I'm a Cancer. Sorry. Metaphorically, my behavior consists of connecting, opening, cutting, closing. Connecting. At my worst, I love how you answering with me. At my worst, damn, R.I.P. X. At my worst, I can be self-absorbed, reckless, submissive, cruel. I don't know. Not submissive, not reckless. Maybe cruel. Self-absorbed or cruel. I'll be honest. I'll say sometimes everybody's got a cruel side to them. My worldview is traditional, idealistic, rationalistic, and hedonistic. I'm going to look up this one really quick. Yes. Okay. I am rationalistic for sure. I'm a Cancer. Sorry. You're cancerous. Thomas, you are Cancer. That's Cancer. Rationalistic. My core values tend to be spiritual, theoretical, experimental, economic. Jesus, dude, is this like a political test? Whoa, my God. I didn't know that this is what depended on what bender you were. My core values tend to be... I don't know. I would almost say spiritual, because spiritual to me is not religious. That's just being like connected and being aware and like thinking of things very spiritually. Theoretically, experimental, economic. I'm going to go spiritual on that one. I take the most pride in being a winner, competent, authentic, accountable. I just say authentic. Yeah, I am unapologetically me. Let me see right now. Double checking the live. Everything looks good. Okay, what's up, guys? Thanks for sticking with us. Let's see these results. A compliment would be to say that I am charming, patient, logical, sensitive. To be honest, any of those would be a compliment to me, but I'd probably say charming.
Oh, you forgot number 17.
Oh, I did? Oh, yeah. I rely most on sensing and judging, sensing and perceiving, intuition and thinking, intuition and feeling. I'd go sensing and perceiving. My style would be best described as self-confident, aggressive, conscientious, and leisurely. Self-confident. I fault myself sometimes when I am too impatient. That is one of my biggest flaws. Is I do have a level of patience, but I can get very impatient where I have to check myself sometimes. I do got to do that. I would most like to be seen as successful, genuine, capable, dependable. Probably genuine, man. I mean, again, like just being someone where somebody goes like, that guy's got no ulterior motives. Like, that guy is who he is, and he's not lying, he's not faking, he's not trying to please anybody. That, I think, the older you get in life, the more people you meet, I think being genuine, a genuine person, is just rare. It gets more and more rare to find. And I'm not sucking my dick on that. I'm not saying I'm fucking like always the most genuine person ever. I'm just saying I would like to be seen as genuine. I don't mind if others see me as prosperous, nervy, benevolent, autonomous. I don't mind if other people see me as prosperous. I want to prosper. Prosperity? Yeah. I desire most to be winning, agreeable, authoritative, accomplished. I want to be accomplished. I want to accomplish my things, my goals, what I see myself doing. I might be too concerned with ability, control, comfort, and status. That's a hard one, actually. Maybe control. Sometimes I think I worry too much about control, about trying to control things that are out of my control. Again, reference that serenity prayer shit. To have the wisdom to know the things that are in your control and not in your control. Very important. I most enjoy being orderly, financially secure, desirable, obeyed. Probably desirable. If you're desirable, that's where connections and a lot of shit opens up for you. Probably desirable. I feel best when I am beloved, energetic, quiet, correct. Beloved, I think. This is a solid beat right now, bro.
I think we're almost done.
If I could, I'd spend all my time governing, improving the world, being friendly, being celebrated. Improving the world, because I feel like that's broad enough where it's like being friendly and being celebrated, like all those kind of things could be improving the world. Like, my one thing I am trying to do is I think I have a reasonable voice. I think I can talk well and goodest enoughest, and like I'm just a normal dude. I'm just a normal person. And so I think that a lot of people who have the means and can speak very well publicly should get out there and kind of be the voice of reason sometimes and check fucking crazy people. Yo, J-Haw's in the chat. What's up, bro? Use your white privilege for good, brother. What is up, man? I will. That is my intention. Welcome. We're going on 2.5 hours right now. So I am actually taking my avatar, like what bender would you be test, and then we're gonna go from there, actually. But dude, you should have. I'm gonna try and see if I can keep this video up on the channel afterwards to actually post it. Patriot J, you got to go through and watch probably like the first third of the video. We got really deep and we talked about some really interesting stuff about kids in college and about movies and about a bunch of other things. And I want to talk about the state of the world and shit too. So if I can get this uploaded on the channel, please go watch like the first third of this live. I think there's some interesting shit in there. I'm so glad you were still going when I saw this tweet. Thanks, man. I know, man. I know. I went at 8:30. I wanted to give people time to when they're home from work, people who are still working and shit. and I'm just having fun, dude. I mean, it's not really that tiring. We're just kind of sitting here talking and shit. It was just me for a while, but then Kate came in the mix too. So, but yeah, for everybody else, go. You got to look up Patriot J on Twitter. I don't remember if that is your @ handle or not, but you should drop your handle. This dude is borderline Twitter famous now, representing Palm Dizzle. So make sure you show him some love and go and pop over there after this. I gotta finish this while I enter in the passcode wrong. Jesus, she has one of those passcodes. It's like 6 digits. That's so fucking unnecessary. Like,
I have Face ID. I rarely use it.
I guess that's true, but that's like, bro, people who got 6 or 9 digit passcodes, like, who are you afraid of? But it's most important to be self-actualizing, reciprocating, free, and influential. Those are all important, man. I think it's very important to be self-actualizing. It's very important to reciprocate properly, unless it's like inappropriate reciprocation and like anger or someone's acting out. Don Lemon diss in 1.1K. We just hit 8,900. Wow, bro. You're going to be at 10,000 like in no time, dude. Because I remember your goal was like 10,000 followers before the end of the year. You're going to be at 10,000 in no time. Like, that's so crazy, bro. Shoot for the stars. You'll land on the moon. That's what I always say. Dude. Okay. Again, it's most important: self-actualizing, reciprocating, free, or influential. I'm going to say self-actualizing. I most want others to see me as competitive, responsible, skilled, or sincere. I feel like they're repeating me, so I'm going to go skilled, because I already said a nice one on another question that was just like that. I'm not proud that I'm often rigid, sluggish, aloof, restless. I too often find myself sluggish. There is things where I have to work on with myself where I am often too sluggish, that I have to kind of get myself out of that. I'm quite happy that I'm objective, plain and simple, emotional, exciting. I am quite happy that I'm emotional. I am in touch with my emotions. I'm not afraid to say that. And I think that that is a power. And I think that more people need to be in touch with their emotions, because it humanizes all of us and it allows empathy to roll through. Most of all, it is best to be strong, fun, intimate, dutiful. I think most of all, it's important to be fun, man. All those are important, but it's important to be fun. Like, life is short, dude. Do what the fuck you want to do. I am the Water Tribe.
Wow.
I said, it's not going to show you. It's not going to show you. I'm the Water Tribe, everybody. I am a water bender. I cannot say I'm at all surprised.
Wow. 74% Water Tribe. What shows you what you would be underneath? Like what came in second?
Okay, so I was 74% Water Tribe, 55% Air Nomads, 43% Fire Nation, and 42% Earth Kingdom.
Wow.
So like I said, I really like the Earth Kingdom. I think the Earth shit is tight, but the Earth people themselves are just fucking obnoxious to me. So like, I'm not at all surprised with that. But again, water. I told you, everything I always do ends up being some water shit. I'm like forever tied to water, to H2O. Hey, some high quality H2O. But Hots, if you're still in here, if you got any questions or anything, now's the time, man. I was jumping questions back and forth for a minute there with Haley and Eli and Caleb sending in a bunch of questions. I'm sure you can go up and read the chat and shit. But if you got any questions or anything, let me know. I'm surprised we've been able to keep as much as we have. Patriot, can we hang out soon? Dude, absolutely. Let me know. Are you back for good, or are you going back to DC? For everybody else who doesn't know, Patriot J is not just a username. He is actually Patriot J. He lives and worked in Washington, DC politically. I don't want to spread any false info. I don't know exactly what he was doing out there, but I believe it was like an internship for someone in Congress or something like that. Let me see. I'm hiding that one, Thomas. I don't even know what that was. But no, Patriot J, that is quite a person. For 1 year, I'm here planning on going back to DC after school, though. Wow, dude, that is awesome. I can see you doing that. Absolutely. You're describing it accurately. Fantastic. Fantastic. Sometimes I talk out of my ass, but I try not to. Dude, now that you're here, you got to hop on this. I'm going to be doing part of the reason why I'm doing this, I explained in the beginning, but this is kind of an experiment. It's kind of a test. I wanted to see how active people were going to be and how many of my own subscribers were going to come in, not just people like my direct friends or Twitter or things like that. And I wanted to just see how well it went, how well we flowed and how I did live, things like that. So I'm going to be doing Trip Talk Live a little bit more now. I'll probably have different segments and topics that I want to switch from. But this will always kind of be more personal and more just kind of not that much prep will go into it. I just want to have a conversation with people. I will be starting up soon here, actual Trip Talk, which will be a weekly podcast on my channel in the middle of all the other videos that I will be filming and projects on the side. So there will be my normal uploads, Trip Talk, the podcast, and Trip Talk Live like this. So there's 3 ways. You got to be on something, man. Either podcast, live, everything in between. You got to do it. But yeah, so we'll have Trip Mac, Trip Talk, and Trip Talk Live. As of right now, and I don't know what the fuck those names are, dude. I just try to do something. I've come to find out that names do not matter. This song is so hard. This always comes up on my lo-fi radio. It's called Eternal Youth by Rude. You gotta hold on. This shit is solid, dude. Listen, hold on. It's just that for a while, but it is awesome. I love that one. Pepe Jam. Pepe Jam. Can we get an F in the chat, or an L or a W? Can I get letters in the chat? Can I get the alphabet in the chat? But yeah, no, I think this has been a very successful first attempt. We're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. Do FLW. God, Eli, I gotta say, dude, the fact that you have been in here like this entire time, man, I fucking love you, man. You are forever my brother. J A B C Def. Wow, you really put the whole alphabet there, and it doesn't look that big. I guess it's only 26 characters, right? But so crazy. High. The thoughts of a high Trip Mac. That it's crazy that those 26 letters make our entire language. Everything and the way we communicate is just 26 letters. Crazy, man. Fucking crazy, bro. I want to step my content game up this summer. You are streamer goals. Thank you, dude. I've never done anything streaming before until tonight. Literally, I have filmed gameplay videos before, but like just filmed them, and then they never saw the light of day for one reason or another. But yeah, I've never done streaming before, but I really do feel, I kind of spoke on this before, that I shine best in moments like this, where I'm kind of talking, we're having an open conversation, I'm flowing, I'm going off of actual live chat comments. It feels a lot more fluid this way. The fucking conversation flows, and it's fun, man. I get to feel like I actually respond and communicate with people directly. Because like I said, when I film, there's a process in and of itself, just preparing, and then the production and filming, and then the editing alone. Dude, I mean, people underestimate YouTube is a full-time fucking job. Like, if you want to be consistent and not only put out good work, but consistent good work, it is a full-time job. That's why you see so many people start YouTube and then stop 5 videos in, or start a clothing brand and stop 5 things in. And I'm sure, you know, with music and school is like, everything is easier when people talk about it versus actually putting in the work to make it consistent and do it. But this is fun, man. I feel like this is something that I feel like I can do consistently. The podcast as well. And then the content will kind of be my passion project. So I'm just a talker. This is very nice. There's 171,476 words in English. I wonder if that's counting slang. Like, I wonder if that's counting like just like street words and shit. Because it can't, dude. There's new words every day. Like, And also you got to think of all the different things. Like there's Cap, and then there's Cap. Like, and then there's slime, and then there's my slimes. And yes, I'm that white kid that's like, play the Playboy Cardi. Play Shoota by Playboy Cardi for me and my slimes. That's just Oxford Dictionary. But Hot says he wants to step my content game up this summer. I know I already read that, but dude, let's get on it. I'm going to see Cody hopefully tomorrow. Again, shout out Cubawack. And we're going to be planning some content stuff I'm doing for him and his music and stuff we're doing cross-platform channel stuff. Anytime you want to do content shit, dude, my favorite thing to do is create. So let me know. And that's all slat, brother. That's slat. I remember when I had to learn that other language. Eli had this thing where, what was the thing you would say, Eli, where instead of I'm on my way, he would send like all these pluses and emojis and asterisks and I just knew that meant he was coming over. He wouldn't say anything. I would just get this like slat verbiage and I would know that Eli was coming over. Dude, yeah, let's get it, man. Let's get it. Hots, I'm serious, dude. Either like this week or next week or something, you got to hop on a live or a podcast. We'll get some shit rolling. Even if you think of like a funny political video or even just something that you think we could have good energy going back and forth on, we could get drunk, we could smoke and film or do whatever and like just actually make our own little video together. It'd be funny to do a debate video or something like that too. Because you're good, man. You got that energy. You're charismatic too. You're one of those people out here where that energy flows. It's just like people are drawn because you have the charisma. And so that's good energy to be around. We go back and forth. There it is. Plus the asterisk, love lit. I'm becoming a full-time content creator this summer. For real, like no job, just content, music videos, might even do a podcast. Dude, absolutely, man. Like if you didn't, I feel like it'd be a waste of fucking potential. Like, oh, I fucking French kissed my microphone for a second. But there's so many people out there that need to add their voice to the conversation. You of all people know how many fucking morons are just spewing garbage to mass audiences out there. And they just eat it up, dude. And I think that that's one of the things that makes people so fascinating is the different opinions and the different outlooks. You got to add your voice to the conversation, dude, because you have a very well-versed, free-thinking voice. Like, you got to get in it and add your opinion because people will always have everyone else to go back and listen to. But do it. Music videos, Don Lemon diss track now. Even do reviews on shit, man. Even if someone comes out with a hot political take, you got to fucking do a video on your opinion on it, on why you agree or disagree with that person's opinion. If Trump signs a new bill or something's going on in the federal government, give your opinion on it, or even state or music. Fuck, dude, I would kill to watch you review albums. I think that would be awesome. Literally, like, I started YouTube by reviewing movies. Why would anyone care what I have to say about movies? I just loved movies, so I just did it. But yeah, I'm sorry, babe. I've been really talking and taking the mic away.
No, I agree with everything you've been saying.
We got Kate on the beat.
I know, on God.
Kate on the beat. What you got to say?
I'm good.
You say anything to Hots?
Hi, Hots.
We were.
I agree with everything that he said. So
we had a lot of couples back and forth and a lot to talk about already. I wanted to review old school hip hop albums. Great ideas coming in. I'm listening to for the first time. Wow, dude, that's awesome. Absolutely. Good night, Tommy boy. Good night, Tom. From like a new school rapper perspective, dude. That would be awesome, man. I think I saw a tweet of yours actually one time. Weren't you talking about that you just listened to a Jay-Z album, or you had just listened to some album like that? The Black Album by Jay-Z. Okay, Thomas, I hope you have night terrors. Yeah, dude, no, you got to do that, man. I've always thought about, because I love music more than anything, man. That's something I've been waiting to dabble in for so long too. Even just being opinionated. I don't want to be another internet's busiest music nerd, but hold on, let me see this. It's a whole lot of shit I've just never listened to. Bro, same. If I'm being honest with you, I can't name a single song off Jay-Z's off his Black album. I don't know. Eli's always been very well versed with Jay-Z's discography. Not me, though. There's been a lot I've wanted to do. I've always thought about making a video comparing a lot of kind of giving history on new rappers and new people in hip hop that I think have taken a lot from old school, and the comparisons between the two and how they kind of mirror each other. For example, I think that there's a lot in SOB RBE that they've taken from old school hip hop crews. And I'm a big fan of SOB RBE. I kind of wish that they released more shit. But I think it'd be interesting to kind of make like a video essay on certain things, on especially projects that mean a lot to me in hip hop. Like Mac Miller's Watching Movies with the Sound Off was the first album I ever bought with my own money. That he was the first artist I'd ever seen live in any genre in general. And I always thought it'd be interesting to make videos on certain albums and explain why I think they're so special and why maybe they might have gone over people's heads, or things they were talking about went over people's heads, and why there's a lot more substance there. But especially from your perspective, man, like, yeah, you'd have a lot more to offer. And I think you're better versed. You have more knowledge in hip hop, in that world, in music production. I think you could hear something just from a production standpoint and give more and a better 2 cents on it than I could. I mean, I could give my opinion, but I just think you would be better technically speaking. So that's got to happen. Maybe that's what we do, Haas. Maybe I recruit you if you're down, and we make a hip hop centered video together on the channel. If you would be down to let me use your knowledge for exploitation like that, and then you could use me for whatever. But literally, Eli, dude. I mean, like, fuck. If just if you want 4 people that could talk and go crazy for 9 hours about that, it's got to be me, Hots, Eli, and Caleb on a podcast. Dude, like, people would have to come in and put a stop to it. Like, people would have to come in and stop that flow. Because there's so many things in all walks of music, and even Eli. I mean, Eli knows so much about hip hop, but he's one of the few people I know that listens to like literally every genre, from country to 50s to lo-fi to hip hop to I wish Eli would open his mind up a little bit more to punk rock and to more modern punk rock, because I still do have such a soft spot in my heart I got a hard on for punk rock, bro. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. But also, Hots, if you scroll up in the chat, I dropped Kate's link to her Spotify profile. Seriously, she has like 20 playlists on there. She's put me on to such good fucking music. Like, she's like the Spotify and Instagram queen. So I would go up and just go through her playlist, yeah, and see if you see some shit. And I guarantee you'll hear, yeah, you'll find something on her Spotify account and one of her playlists that will hit with you. Because like almost my entire music library is shit that she sends me every day now. I gotta scroll up here. Oh, you know what's crazy is I didn't realize how almost 3 hours of straight talking can really hit, man. Like, I feel that in my throat. I feel it in my voice. I gotta go through. I'm getting notifications right now.
Are you getting more questions?
I was looking at it. I thought I was getting more questions. People sending me in texts and everything. It was cool. It's cool how many people have popped in during all this and just had nice things to say. We got 8 minutes left. I am not a quitter. I'm hitting 3 hours on this shit, dude. I gotta hit 3 hours for my first stream. So give me like one more topic to get. We got 8 minutes, 7-ish minutes left, and then I'm gonna end it. And then we'll end it for the night. And you guys can go on and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. Let me see what stuff comes in on my phone. What's crazy is I'm getting texts from people from what they look like what the stream looks like from their perspective. And it's crazy because you know how often video mirrors where like it kind of flips how it actually is in real life. All the screenshots people have sent me because of how the webcam works, like that is how it actually looks in real life. Like if you were to walk in this studio right now, what you're seeing is actually the perspective it is. That's just like some random little factoid that I thought was kind of cool. Do you know anyone with the coronavirus? Rank your top 5 fast food places, sometimes known as the Chinese virus. That's so crazy. I touched on that a little bit too. I almost debated what I might do in the future is actually making or dedicating a single topic of these live streams to one thing and then taking side questions in the chat as we go on. But so personally, no, I do not know anybody with coronavirus. I know people that haven't felt well, and that's it. However, I don't know how much public information it is, but I do know someone very close to me, actually close to both of us, Jordan, that his father was in the ICU for a few days and had all of the symptoms and was actually hooked up to a ventilator. And it was a very scary week. And he had every symptom of it. The medical staff gave him 2 tests and both tests came back negative, which kind of blew all of our minds. And even the doctors themselves were saying that they didn't know anything else that it could have been. Like they were like, he literally has every symptom and everything that's going on with him is what we're hearing is what has been driving fatalities and driving these serious numbers. But he came all the way back around and he stabilized and he's solid. He's back home and he's well and great and back on his feet. And fortunately, yeah, and that's actually crazy is Kate's mom was in the hospital. When was that, babe? When was it?
It was like right at the end of February, like right before everything had started.
Explain what she was going through.
So it started off really crazy, like a crazy story. My mom had texted me randomly one morning at like 4 a.m. and was hallucinating and texting me really weird things. So I called her later that day, and I live in California now and my mom lives in Texas, but she kept saying I was in Texas and I was visiting my sister, and I was like, I haven't been there in forever. Long story short, she had gotten bronchitis, and I guess the medication or something she was on, she started hallucinating, not feeling well. Well, the next day she went to urgent care. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with her, sent her to the hospital. She immediately was on all these antibiotics, trying to kick it. She was on all these oxygen tubes. She was on a ventilator. She was in multiple medically induced comas. She almost had to have a open heart surgery. They were going to have to transfer her to another hospital. It was really close. Everything that our friend's dad went through was exactly what had happened to my mom, and it was really scary. So long story short, I ended up flying out there and kind of helping her, and they switched her antibiotics and she eventually pulled through, and now she went into probably like 2 weeks of physical recovery, and now she's home and she's doing just fine. But for a while there, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. When I was there, they were still trying to figure it out, and it was right before everything with Corona had started. So it was really hard. So yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, and that was nuts too, man. That was the whole time because we had no idea what was happening back then. And that was, like she's saying, before the lockdowns, before the media storm and craziness. And just so you know, Hots, because I don't really care. Eventually, I'm going to have to state my opinions online. I'm very opinionated when it comes to COVID and the whole handling of coronavirus. It is crazy to me, the symptoms that she had before we knew, and then the symptoms that our very close friend's dad had. And I agree with you. It's terrifying that the test came back negative, because that to me is like, is it just a shit show? Like, do we know fucking anything? But I don't know anyone who tested positive for it. I don't know anyone who knows anyone who had the very unfortunate position of knowing someone who died from it. I personally look at the statistics and I think it is a very serious sickness. But right now, I think what we're doing for something that has a 99% chance of survival is a bit ridiculous. especially with a 96 point something percent chance of being asymptomatic. I think it's a bit ridiculous. I think that we are in a situation where people are doing things for the sake of just doing it. Like, I think it's, especially from a company standpoint, that it's safer to do something than to do nothing, so that in the future people can't look back and be like, when COVID hit or when this was happening, like you didn't do anything, you didn't help anyone, you didn't take any measures, you didn't blah blah blah. So I think we are seeing something where people are just doing shit. Like, stores are just making up rules so people can't say they didn't do anything. Like, that's kind of where I feel. Again, Coney 2012, I do believe, unfortunately, as serious as this should be taken in some matters, I feel like we have an issue of people virtue signaling and just projecting. And I think Andrew Scholes, I don't know if you're familiar with him as a comedian, he's fucking amazing. I love that guy. He has a very, very good take on the whole mask thing and just the restrictions and like yeah, like literally companies are just like, they're just acting to say they did something. You're like, that's all they're doing is, it's like, tell me how me standing shoulder to shoulder in line in outside of Walmart is any safer than me fucking going inside Walmart to disperse amongst the store and get away from people. But yeah, Tubbs recently sent me a phenomenal video of his. Yeah, dude, Andrew Scholes has, I fucking love his takes on it. And I think that people are getting too much heat for questioning the government. The government's flip-flopped on what is right and wrong like 50 different times. I mean, Fauci was saying, don't wear a mask, it's stupid. And then he was saying that wear a mask, but only the N95s do anything. And then he was saying wear cloth over your face. And then he said, fuck it, tie a bandana around your face and join a gang. Like, fuck it. Like the government doesn't even know what they should or should be doing. And then a few days ago, the CDC updated their website and said that it is not nearly as transferable on surfaces as they thought it was. So don't be worried about surfaces really that much. It's really just transferable on fucking like on other things. Fuck Fauci. All my what is it? Like, I hate Fauci. All my homies hate Fauci. Now all of a sudden it's not transferable on surfaces. And what's crazy is how much of the media is fear mongering and how much of this is just, I don't know. Joe Rogan has a really good stance on this. I know I keep on acting like I'm just going to suck that man off, but like, he's the voice of reason for a lot of people. And Joe Rogan says, like, once you take certain freedoms away, usually people don't want to give those freedoms back. It's very hard to get those freedoms back. And then really, when you do get freedom stripped, do you ever really get those freedoms back? It's crazy. He said the hook of my Don Lemon diss is fuck Son Lemon, all the homies hate. Oh, fuck Don Lemon, all the homies hate Don Lemon. yeah, bro. I think it was Eli or someone had to tell me who Don Lemon was, Jay. I didn't even know who the fuck that dude was. I just thought it was funny that you blew up after saying fuck Don Lemon. But so I just recently found out who that man was. But yeah, no, I think that in the beginning, it was E. In the beginning, we needed to take it very seriously because we didn't know how it was spreading. People were having it and they weren't being symptomatic, and it was very scary. But we've been living through this for so long now. We have so many numbers. We understand it now. We know what it is. Like, it's less scary than the fucking flu. Like, now we need to start kind of acting accordingly, making sure that the compromisable, if that's a word, the people that could be compromised, more easily compromised, make sure we're taking better care of them. But the fact that we're losing businesses and people are losing homes and their livelihoods over this is something I don't take lightly, is basically what I'll say on that. Oh, that's fucking funny, man. The street's about to go crazy. Ancient proverb, bro. It's honestly, it's nuts. The state that we've gotten in. I took it very seriously at first, dude. We went out and we bought like 2 weeks worth of food because there was a point in time where, like, straight up, I was being fed through information and through friends in the military that, like, dude, California is going to go on a 2 week mandatory lockdown. They're not going to let you leave your homes. They're not going to do this. And so we got 2 weeks worth of food. Good thing, because we didn't eat out for those 2 weeks. So we ate the fucking food. But like, it's just, I don't understand it, man. The mayor of LA said that he will not open LA until there is a cure. I would like to point out to the mayor of LA that there is no such thing as a cure to a virus. But there's why there is no such thing as a cure to the common flu. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm hearing so much, dude. I think where we go from here is a trip, dude. It's a trip. I heard someone, a very popular podcast that I listen to, not Joe Rogan, explained it in this way, that after 9/11, people didn't think that we were ever going to fly again. After 9/11, the tragedy that happened. And people were like, how are we ever going? I'm never going to be on an airplane again. I'm never going to be able to trust an airliner. I'm never going to be able to feel safe in an airplane. And eventually we got to the point where we're flying again, where the TSA and things evolved. Security stepped up. We put different measures in place to evolve with the situation at hand. So when 9/11 happened, flying was very different than it is now. We went back to flying wherever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. It's just the measures and the safety precautions in flying change. So that's how I look at this situation optimistically. We will go back to normal. It's just going to be a new normal. It's going to be a new normal with higher health standards, higher safety precautions, like things like that. And I think that there might be people that choose to look at it from they stripped our freedoms and like they're doing this and blah, 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 blah. I think there's going to be a lot of good that comes out of this in the sense of just normal hygiene. Like movie theaters and airliners were not disinfecting and cleaning movie theaters and airplanes at all, like in between flights and showings of movies. So like, that's insane to me. So I do think there's a good side of this where it's like kind of like Japan, it's standard culture for people to wear face masks. That's why you have Bape and shit like that make designer face masks, but it's standard. If you're sick, you wear a face mask. And some people just do in public transit regardless. They're very cautious about washing their hands and disinfecting and things like that. And you look at people like Germany, and I think it's Switzerland or Sweden that have taken this very well. Also, I mean, their governments are a lot different than ours, but like, it will go back to normal. It's going to be a new normal. And unfortunately, with the way we are, I just have to bend over and take it and just hope that the government uses lube. Didn't know there were any kids left writing their own papers. Bravo to you, sir. Hotz will write all the papers, give you all the A's, whatever grade you want. If you say, give me a B plus, he'll make sure that you get exactly a B plus. He's just that good. That's how good his numbers are. He said, I like that you're looking at the good that will come from it. You know, honestly, man, you have to. I do consider myself a glass half full kind of person. And I think that life gets depressing and just it's too much of a drag if you look at it just the negative all the fucking time, man. Like, you got to look at it glass half full because of course there is a number of negative things I could focus on with this whole thing. But what I'm hoping from is a positive. And I do think one thing that's a positive from all this is fucking cancel culture took a break. And I think that the world kind of realized that there's bigger fish to fry than pronouns and fucking this person did something that I didn't agree with 20 years ago and I'm going to destroy their entire life because of it. You haven't seen a whole lot of that. I know Doja Cat, but you know what is you're seeing the spike again now because I think the general opinion is getting to the place where people are just getting over it. People are getting far, far over it. Fallon too. The Fallon one I don't agree with. Even Jamie Foxx came out and was like, guys, shut the fuck up. That was 20 years ago. And I thought Chris Rock was a part of it. And he was impersonating Chris Rock. Like it was a part of the bit. And I'm a person where I fully believe nothing matters except intent. Intent matters. So I look at the intent of it. Eli, you can look this up, but why are you still up? Tommy boy, go have your night terrors. Jimmy Fallon impersonated Chris Rock on an SNL sketch like 20 years ago. And people are coming after him for blackface. And he immediately apologized and like just keeled over on Twitter. Granted, being in that position you are, I don't know what the fuck else you're expected to do. If you fight back at all, you're only going to stir the pot. by doing what he did, it's just going to kind of die out and people are going to forget and move on to the next person to cancel. Just like Doja Cat, like, I don't know, who cares, man? People are all people. You can't keep attacking people for just doing things that you don't agree with. One thing that's huge is conversation is not consent. Just because someone is having conversation with someone does not mean that they consent and agree with how that person thinks and feels. Also, intent. I believe that what someone is doing, if their intent is pure and is not fueled by hatred or malicious or bigotry or any of that bullshit, then like you're the person making it that. But also recognizing that what you're doing could be considered just tasteless. It could be considered kind of inappropriate, and it could affect people in ways that you don't understand because, like, again, I mean, I don't want to be I'm not looking for brownie points here, but like a lot of these people that preach that grew up with white privilege, grew up with a lot of things that they never had to think in that way. So they do things that even though their intent is not malicious or mean, they're not realizing how it's coming across to other people, to other walks of life. It's a hard line to walk, bro. It's a hard thing to kind of balance where it's like, I didn't mean it like this, but I see why you feel like this. I'm sorry. I won't do this. I guess that's all you can ask. And then the person doesn't do it and you're like, okay, great. Who the fuck cares? Like they did something that I didn't feel was right. They changed. Now, I don't know. Also, you can pick and choose who you listen to. If you don't like Jimmy Fallon, listen to Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Sturgill or Jimmy I don't know, any of the other 80 late night Jimmy hosts. I don't know, man. Huh?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I just said there was a lot.
I know, yeah. But I don't know. Again, you're just listening to some stupid ass guy on YouTube preach about shit. One day it's only a matter of time before something I say is taken out of context and used against me, but I'm ready for it, dude. I don't care. I'm confident in who I am and the opinions that I hold, and I just believe in love and peace, but also calling out shit when I see it. And so there's a few things like that right now. But yeah, guys, I think that is about going to do it, if that sentence makes any sense. Live has been fun. It's been quite the experience. Being able to mess up my words and stumble over my own sentences live and in front of people has been a blast. I cannot believe how many people were in the chat, like how many comments there were. This is crazy, dude. Like I can't go off. He said, congrats on 3 hours though, bro. You really went off. Thank you, dude. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been real. Wish I saw more. I shall return for your next. Hots, I hope so. Don't feel pressure, dude, at all. I know how it fucking is. Sometimes people are busy or not in the right spot to watch a fucking live stream. So like, don't. But next time I go live, just look out. I'll tweet it. I'll post it on Instagram and I'll text you the link. I'll try to remember that too. But it's been a blast. I'm going to do a ton more of these. The questions I got in were awesome. Again, I'm going to try and upload this on the channel so you guys can go back and watch the whole thing over again or listen to specific parts. I think there's been some really good moments in here. So thank you, Eli. You're literally the best friend I could ever ask for. Jay, you are literally one of the coolest people I have ever met. And yeah, let's do this again soon. So thank you guys. Thank you, Tripper Nation, for joining me and listening to this, all my trippers. Do you want any closing remarks? Where can people find you?
My Instagram, my Spotify is linked already. Instagram, Twitter at Caitlin Wadley. It was great joining this live halfway through, so thank you for having me.
There you go.
That's it.
That's my hype. So yeah, guys, remember, be kind, be loving, be empathetic. If I can leave you with all that, remember all the shit everybody's going through right now and just have fun, be optimistic, and look at the positives. I love you guys, and I will talk to you very soon.